your light goes off, you say Napo has happened. Napoasi. Napo don't drop. National power outage. It's a funny country. We are joking. Big jokes. My name is Sana Nombo. Show is produced by Eric Boate. God is in charge of Facebook and various social media networks. We are broadcasting live on them. We apologize if you're having difficulties listening to us via tuning. We'll see what we can do immediately to fix it. But until then, stay with us.
Yes, Baby. Next chorus for my life. Must mark my trouble. I'm going to show you the next chorus we're going to sing. That is the last chorus of the song. Are you ready? Are you ready? It goes like this. That's all. That's all. It's very simple. Very simple. I'll take it again.
Now, you see, when the tuning, when the power goes off and comes back on, if we are lucky, the tuning will restart by itself. But if we are not lucky, it has to be restarted by the technical people. And you know, the technical people are not now actively at work with the rest of us. So wherever they are, we'll find them and bring them in. We used to have somebody at posts. He vanishes and comes. He has gone again.
One time.
So now that's our difficulty.
Coming from this to this date, so find somebody is okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's.
But I'll call the technical director.
Yeah,
he is a little closer to us.
Yeah.
So I'll call him then.
We'll see what
for us.
But
talking about the power outages, you know, Nigeria used to have their electricity company was called NEPA.
Yeah, they have changed the name.
They changed it to Power Holding something.
To see if it will change the fortunes of their
So
power.
it was National Electricity something authority, NEPA. Then they changed it to Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PSU. You see, problem has changed name.
But he hasn't done it. It's the same problem.
Problem has changed name.
He has just changed it.
And we have national power outage.
Hey.
Our minister is called Napo.
No, but I think his approach is even worse than what
he's a buga man.
Yes.
He
I think he needs to.
He's one person I respected so much, but ever since he became a minister, from education to energy, I've been disappointed with him.
Yes.
With the kind of comments he comes to make, as if he's playing politics with everything. Yeah. It's not funny.
I think it's the same thing that happened to our education sector.
Serious.
One of the things we failed to do is to have an active conversation on exactly how our free SHS should look like before we even start.
Yesterday, one of our sister stations was having a conversation on the double track and how it has affected parents.
Yeah.
So now you need to listen to the concerns from parents.
No, you see, Eric.
But they are all quiet. Everybody's afraid. They can't talk.
Eric, you see, this is the problem in Ghana. The problem in Ghana is that we expect that if it is not said by a particular group of people, it is not true.
It's not true.
Have we not been talking about the issues of double track for a long time? Have we not made that particular comment on the fact that people are spending more on senior high school now than they would have without the free SHS?
There's a young girl in my neighborhood. I saw her 3 days ago and asked her, she just went to secondary school, SS1.
And she's back home.
SS1, and she's back home. I said, you say, you see a Murphy now SS3 for the match 190. So I asked her, when are you going back? You
see?
She doesn't know when she's going back to school. But she's contemplating to be somewhere in June. But she doesn't know when. So what kind of educational system are we running in this country?
No.
Now you have a classmate, but you may never know your classmates, because one is in blue track, one is in yellow track, one is in white track. What is going on?
I think that's it. You see,
And you complain, and
there's a huge
some excuse my language, some idiots will come and insult you.
There's a huge difficulty that we need to deal with, Eric. I think there's a huge difficulty. We are
Massa.
all pretending it is well when it is not.
Yeah, call the full term and the I'm off for so. I'm off for so. Then I was talking to one girl. She's at this. I don't want to mention the school. She's a science student, and from the conversation I was having with her, I like engaging them. You could see that she's worried. She's in her final year. She's worried. That she told me that first year syllabus, when you're pushing across second year syllabus. So there are a lot of things she was supposed to learn in the first year she couldn't.
That she could not learn.
Yes. Into a contra exam, so on a man back. Exam, how is she going to?
She will fail, Potter.
She's afraid.
No, but
she's a science student too.
Yeah, and I think the challenge now is for parents. Now let's also understand one thing. At some point in time, because this government gave the impression that he was taking out the parents out of the business.
Massa.
But really what the government has done is to force more parents to be more actively concerned about the education of their parents.
Yesterday I showed you.
It's very,
I showed
very
you
important.
something.
Yes.
Allegedly, there was a PTA meeting, and forcing the parents whose works are in the final year to pay some 200 Ghana cedis, and those in the second year and the first years are paying about 600 Ghana
Up to
cedis.
600 cities. That's
Allegedly.
The person didn't say there was. They said there are
Yes.
ongoing conversations.
Yes.
And
So if your child is in the final year, you pay around 200 cedis, and your child is in the second or the first year, around 600 cedis.
yeah. So you see this.
No,
Eric, all these conversations we've been having since the free SHS was introduced. The only problem is that people think that knowledge resides in their head. No, like you see, me,
So whatever they decide, they come and dump it on you.
No,
you don't have a say.
See, the biggest, the biggest, what they call it, determinant of the approach of this government is that famous comment that was made by Nana Akufo-Addo. Baumia. Simple. Is it simple? If you go back and look at the whole conduct of the government and everything, you always go back to that sense where you are feeling that is about they feeling that only one person knows something. So Napoye, like there was this famous press conference where Nana Akufo-Addo, and I never forget it, when Nana Akufo-Addo essentially said, Amoakwata will fix it.
Amoakwata.
That guy. That's the road.
That guy.
Yes. And when they are talking about free SHS, recall the comments that Nana Akufo-Addo makes about Napo.
Yes.
At the time.
Yes.
Okay. So there's always a sense where they feel that it's not this are small issues.
They don't owe anybody any explanation.
These are small issues that we'll deal with. Don't worry yourself. They are small issues.
Look,
this guy is capable.
Truth be told, our secondary school system is in a total mess.
No,
parents, mama will be saying yes, friendly problem. And them cause I don't want to talk about it. Look.
But who listens?
Look, when this free SHS thing started and some of the teachers were angry that they didn't discuss issues with them before implementation of the free SHS, one of the teacher union said that, okay, some person call on because you don't want to take our inputs. You take your decisions and dump it on us to implement. So, don't worry, we will help them to bomb. We will help them.
And that
is what is going on.
No, but see, when they were starting free SHS, what do you call it? Sir Tekpe was the first person who raised a question about financial sustainability. He says there's no clarity as to the cost factor, how it to be paid for. How do you intend to get a budget item that settles it? That's one.
Yes.
He doesn't even see projections about how many students we expect to be on the program within the first 2-3 years.
So now, not to cut you. When this whole thing started, some people called for blueprints. Up to today, it's been how many years? Since 2017.
Yeah.
Has the government produced any blueprint on the free SHS?
Oh no, there's nothing. It is in their head. That's why I'm saying that. Baumienio. You see, I've always said that this government's whole conduct, sometimes listen to them carefully. You will understand. You see, sometimes they make it sound like as if when they came, Ghana was a desert.
Yes.
They built all these houses.
Everything.
That's how they make it sound. They came to build everything. So when they mention Mahama, they're incompetent. He didn't do anything, which is not true. Which tells you the extent of, you see, without acknowledging what you came to meet, you can't build on it. Okay, if somebody is building a house,
yes,
and the person all of a sudden, perhaps, maybe you buy the house, buy an uncompleted house from somebody, you must first speak to the person about what are you trying to do with this house?
Yes. So that you get an idea of
where the person was going, the design,
where to continue from,
the design, what they've built so far. What
exactly?
You do an assessment before.
Very true. But because I have an experience about that.
You see, if you dismiss the person and say, Chia, it doesn't know anything. You do what your friend Ahin is doing. This is what will happen. That's what will happen. See, whenever you go back, listen to everything this government has said, you will understand why we are where we are. We are not saying that this government has never done anything that's well-intentioned. Free SHS, well-intentioned. The question of planting for food and jobs is another issue.
Yes.
You see, there are several things that they've put out there that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
One village, one dam. Fantastic. If you know what you're doing. One district, one factory. Good idea. If you know what you're doing. So everything they have put out, sometimes when you hear it, you're like, wow, this sounds good. But the problem
it sounds good on paper.
No, the problem is that there's no paper. It is not on any paper. It sounds good from their mouth.
Exactly.
There's no paper, there's nothing. They have written nothing on anything that they'll come and read for you.
Yes.
No, there's nothing. You can see nothing. There's no plan. All they have, planting for food and jobs. We have a fertilizer subsidy program. That is on top of my head.
That's why the minister came to tell us, you can go and buy a whole
bunch of
plantain for 5 cedis.
Yeah.
That day now I was like, man, 5 cedis for press conference. Now they are driving the bar at grocery market. No top bunch of plantain 5 cedis in the mind.
But this is a country where people who we give power to, all of a sudden become so powerful. They feel that they shouldn't be questioned. They should
disrespect everybody. Look at that Roofs minister.
Yeah, they say,
Jesus Christ.
You see, I saw him.
Arrogance.
Oh no, it's not arrogance.
You are far behind. You need to catch up with us.
You see, his is not arrogance.
In food a bunch of shops.
His is not arrogance.
Bon.
It's not even bon. You see, I don't know if when you're growing up, you know there are children whose fathers had money. So they get to do things that they should not ordinarily be doing.
Exactly.
It's like you wake up in the morning and then Eric, your uncle calls you and says that, come and I have bought MTN. Or Eric, come and manage MTN. Yes. You have never managed anything in your life before. You understand?
Yes.
You cannot manage MTN. But you are managing MTN because your uncle has bought MTN.
Yes.
His uncle is president.
Yes.
So he's in the road sector. Finish. He clearly has no idea what he's doing. He is a round peg in a square in a square hole or whatever. He is completely out of. And they are not ready to learn.
And we are about to enter the rainy season.
Oh.
They won't learn. Arrogance.
Oh.
Look, see, this government, and number 4, they describe you arrogance, wickedness, vindictiveness. Jesus Christ.
Sometimes you think about it, and this is where we are. We'll do with it. We have to live with it. We have no choice.
Those people in the SHS, I fear for them, Musena.
Yeah.
I fear for them.
Yeah.
Anytime I see them, I try to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
To know what they are thinking. Because many believe say that secondary school level determines who you will be in future.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it right at the secondary school level, Masa,
it won't go well. It won't go well. No, but you see, this whole thing, you see, as for free SHS, it's a whole matter altogether. The kind of thinking that's required to do anything in governance, a lot of the time when you listen to this government speaks, you see, I don't know. It's like you see a challenge, you see a task, and you see the difficulty of the task. But the person who is performing the task is telling you, oh, this thing, I'll do it easily. Yeah, it's like you wake up in the morning and then I feel why it's challenging some macho man. you are telling I feel why you can't beat this man. But I feel why is they say, yeah. You know that you won't go well for your brother. But your brother is saying, you say, come. Let's see how we can deal with this matter.
No.
I feel what says no, you beat the man. Then you allow, okay, go and beat him. Then he gets badly beaten up. And then I feel why he's still shouting. Whilst he's on the ground, he's shouting that if he stands up, what he will do to the macho one, he will see. You see, this is the kind of thinking that this government operates with. You see a task, like, oh, I'm going to do free SHS. Everybody in the education sector looks at it and says, we need to think through this carefully. You say, no. It's not a problem. We know what we are going to do. Everybody says, this road you are on, we all need to sit down. You need to sit down with us, you need to sit down with the parents so that we understand our role, the parents understand their role, you understand how you need to do this so that it will be sustainable. You say, no, it's a small issue. It's the same issue. Every issue that they have faced is the same issue. We all, what do they call it? We all, this debt issue. You are all shouting. When you started borrowing, we say, no, where you are going is dangerous. Say, rate of growth of debt. But which one is that one to? Everything you listen to them. It's like
now the World Bank is warning us.
Oh no, that's
what we are doing.
But those people, you see, those people when we were complaining, they didn't say anything.
Yeah. No, they
didn't say anything. No, they don't. You see, no, majority of our money, majority of the debt we owe outside this country are not concessional loans. They are not with the World Bank or IMF. They are monies that we have borrowed from private investors in the name of bonds.
Yeah.
Those people don't forgive those bonds.
They will collect their money.
They'll take their money.
With their interest.
Every bit of it. Every bit of the money, they will take.
Yes.
They will take. So some of the things,
look, drive around town in the night. Common street lights.
Oh no, that's what that one you won't get.
Common street lights, You know, yesterday Graphic did a story on this street light issue. Just this one, I'm hearing the Ministry of Energy and the Standard Authority are collaborating to fix. So they waited for Graphic to.
And you know, Eric, sometimes when they say that, you see, my friends in the media should learn something. This government is a government of profit and loss. It's a transaction government.
Yes,
it's business.
Accounting government.
See,
profit and loss.
When COVID started, you realize that the government wasn't interested. Somehow they didn't see the business initiative. They didn't see the profit and loss aspect of it. They had only, 23 million from the World Bank or something. That didn't feel enough for them.
Yeah.
Okay. By the time they saw the thing, when they saw the profits, that is when they erected that thing at the airports.
Yes.
$150. So how many months before they said they were reducing it to $50 under the instructions of
months.
the AU or ECOWAS or something?
Yeah.
Do you see?
6 months. But now they have made their money already.
So if you start shouting traffic light, they say, Kojo, you haven't gotten any contract. You're fine with my way. That's all. It's a government of profit and loss. Straightforward. Every problem you throw at them is a transaction problem.
Yes.
It's a transaction problem. They'll find a way of doing procurement and throwing money at it. The whole free SHS matter is all because there are people in between.
And the people who will complain, will talk about it, are all quiet. Last time I was having a conversation with a certain man. I won't mention his name.
You don't expect the same
people who used to shout about governance in this country and
no.
So last time I called him, I said, "Meti Papa in country, let me call him." And now I was talking. We were having a conversation in this politics issue, and the way this man started talking, I said, "Yeah, Papa,
Oh no.
So later on, I got to know that, oh, you don't know. I'm giving him some position somewhere. I said, oh.
No, you see, the problem you will have is that you expect the people who speak under the NPP to be the people who speak under the NDC. No. See, there's an issue of bread and butter when it comes to politics. Let's understand, politics involves good money.
Yeah.
Nobody in his right senses will condemn what is helping him. What is not helping you, you speak against.
Yes.
You know, so when you come in, something is helping you, you go talk.
Yeah. No. Something's happening. No. I just keep quiet.
Persons that are part of the electoral commission. Ask yourself.
Since this,
When people die,
about the
you
last
don't know say
election,
people die.
They
They
have-
know.
common press conference, we went to my organizing.
They
Common
know.
press conference.
They know that people died, Eric. But what they are trying to understand is, you see, to what extent does it concern us? That's life. That's it. I think that the people, see, when you are facing whatever challenge you are facing at this time, don't wait for anybody to talk for you. Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Me, nobody speaks my language. Me, I speak for myself. Either I speak for myself or keep quiet. I don't feel that anybody in this country speaks for me. Nobody understands my problem. I do.
Yes.
I don't need anybody, whatever their titles are, doctor, professor, I don't care. I speak for myself. When I have a problem, I speak about it. Whether it sounds logical or illogical to you, it's freedom of speech. I've utilized my freedom of speech.
Exactly.
I don't need any professor, reverend, whatever. My Catholic Bishops Conference, I don't care about them. They can say whatever they want to say. They are old men who are reaching the end of their life. They don't care about my problems.
Exactly.
Their problems are different from mine.
Exactly.
They are thinking about, they have arthritis, diabetes, and those things, and they are trying to solve them. That's their problem. My problems are different. My problems are bread and butter issues. Simple issues of health. That are my problem. When I'm young, see, at this age, myself, Afewa, yourself, Godwin, and Anders, we have actually almost the same challenges.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, my challenges may be different from what Godwin is facing.
Accommodation issues.
Yeah.
As I sit now, what's this? Is 26. How come in 4 days or 5 days? Let me that guy ask one.
Yeah. And that involves huge sums of money that you have to
Huge
raise
sums of money.
to be able to fix it.
I'm thinking,
This
where do I get money from?
Yeah.
Where do I get money from? Who can I call?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No, because
My son be calling people to help me pay my rent. Sana.
you see, because when you woke up one morning, some government decided that they should close down the radio station you work for. They didn't even think about what you eat or how you survive. That is not their problem. It didn't even concern them. So that is it. So you see, that's why I'm saying that everybody has their concerns. Everybody has. See, so sometimes when I look at young people saying that, oh, as for these people, politicians, they are all the same. No, you are making a mistake.
Yeah.
You don't have
Mama
to
said
wait
it.
until you are 30.
Don't say that we are
Start
all the
thinking
same.
about how, see, every young person should be concerned about the direction of this country.
Yeah.
Else, one of these days, you wake up one morning, you have nothing. All these people who have packed out, gone to whatever, London and those things, because they are building houses in UK, London, and all those places.
Yeah.
All these people who have moved into their retirement homes, the country will be left for you to try to struggle to survive. A lot of young people, even how they will eat and survive, is a huge problem for them. There are huge issues confronting this country. The Galamsey issue, there are several issues involved.
Yes.
It's not a direct issue about destruction of water bodies alone. It's also an issue about the survival of young people in those communities. How do they eat?
There are no job opportunities. Okay. We have a forest in this area. We have minerals in it. So
We should sit there and die.
we should sit there and die. So we must also mine it to survive.
So see, Eric, there are several issues involved. Whenever you raise the issue of free SHS, people think, we pay school fees for the students, they go to school. It's as simple as that to them.
It is not.
It's not that though.
It's not that simple.
It's not that straightforward.
Not that simple.
It involves everything.
Yes.
From
The
from
teacher
the
who is teaching
labor,
them, the labor
at the school, every one of them.
the cooks at the pantry.
Yeah. You are increasing the workload of the laborer. You're increasing the workload of the person who is the cook. You're increasing the workload of the teacher. You're increasing the workload of the headmaster. You're increasing the workload of the circuit or district supervisor, the Ghana Education Service. You're increasing the workload of everybody. The parent now has to be much more concerned about what is happening
in the school
to the student.
Yeah.
Now the child may be feeling that, my mother is no more paying school fees for me. Government is the one that's paying.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, where is the parents' role? Where is the role of every one of us?
Mm-hmm.
How do we ensure that this thing works?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is important. The infrastructure that they are sitting in, everything comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as simple as that. When you hear the issue of Galamsey, you are talking about a cultural issue too. A culture of people who used to go and pick holes, dig, find some gold, go and sell, and make some money. Now they are using excavators. How do we move from holes to excavators? It's a cultural issue. Yeah. It's a gradual issue that has built up over time. How do we address it comprehensively? We don't think about it. Eric, let me read a few messages. Please let Aferiwa come in. Stephen Anoma is saying a good morning to us. Ashong Magdalene is also saying a good morning. Please. Okay, Ashong. Thank you. Thank you, Magdalene. A good morning to Henry Anderson. I think I saw your message a bit earlier. Unfortunately, I can't find it anymore. So, a good morning to you, Henry Anderson, joining us all the way from Berlin. Other friend who is in Berlin, Livingstone, is here with us in Ghana. I know there are a couple of more of you who are listening to us and also watching us live from Berlin. We are on YouTube now, Radio Gold Live TV, YouTube, Radio Gold Live TV. You can get to watch us on YouTube. Abdul Latif Abdallah, thank you. Erin Abdullah is also joining us. Nicholas Laguda says, So Winners is one of my favorite groups. Yes, they are fantastic. Salif Karim is also saying a good morning to us. Grace Tampuri says a good morning, Mr. Sana. Please, this is Today is my husband's birthday. Please help me wish him a happy birthday, Apostle Habib Suleiman. So a happy birthday to Apostle Habib Suleiman. Apostle Habib Suleiman, a happy birthday to you. It's coming from Grace Tampuri, one of our faithful followers, to you. That's your wife, your lovely wife, to you. Happy birthday, Apostle Habib Suleiman. Citizen Dumo says a good morning to us and to the entire team at Radio Gold. Henry Anderson says Napo is a funny man, yet he even has presidential ambitions. Abdul Mumin Jakpasi. Abdul, you can tell us whether the tuning is working or not. We understand it's not. We'll try and see if we can fix it as soon as possible. Would I Until the police are made to live amongst the locals, information gathering and their presence felt in the communities, the crime rate will keep rising. #abolish the police barrack system. And that's coming from Wood. Good morning to you. Wood again says 1 district, 1 factory, 1 dam, 1 fool, 1 day, 1 fraud. Kekele Elikan is saying a good morning to us. Good morning to you. AJ Farrell. Aji Farrell is saying, if you survive this 8 years of Nanado government, you must get a certificate of survival. I swear. Foko Possessor is joining us live from Tanyigbe. Kekeli Kem Klenam says, Sena Freewa will get you. Think about Gozo Efo. Eric Odo is saying, oh, good. Please, what are they saying about your coming back on the airwaves? Dr. Freedom is saying a good morning to us from Chibi. Mohamed Sani Akeme is also joining us. Samina Ismail is also joining us, saying a good morning to us. Foga Ja Stronghold. So apart from putting on to pack dock chains, can our leaders compare themselves to the kings of Dubai, Morocco, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia? Do they really care about the degradation of the environment due to Galamsey? Are they supposed to be told? Are the river gauze they are using to cast spells still potent after being polluted with mercury and cyanide? Maybe the insults from the youth who pumps. Okay, away from my beloved country. Good morning, my Radio God. It's a very controversial issue. You see, our chiefs are one of the groups of people who don't like being talked about. Naturally, customary. When you're talking to a chief, you have to be very careful. The kind of words you use, your language, the way you approach it. That's how come our presidency is like chieftaincy. So it is seen that, the president, he is a big man. You can't talk to him somehow. All that is inherited from our chieftaincy system. So our president is like a chief who carries his chair about. And I think it's happened in other administration too, where chairs are moved from one place to another. Our presidency is not supposed to be like that. But because of our customary and traditional issues, a leader needs to be treated like the way a chief is treated. You carry them shoulder high. You give them the best of food. You give them so they eat better than every one of us. They live better than every one of us. They can have as many women as they want. They can have as much as they want, with little commitment to improving our lives. That's our chieftaincy system. So the chief is supposed to be giving better without really having any commitment to improving our lives to the standard to which he lives. The chief has to be above everyone. So that's our presidency. Chieftain is the same. So it's the same ideology that runs everything. So they give us little for virtually nothing. So that is so we give them more than they give us. I think that's how I should put it. So chiefs are supposed to be treated with a lot of respect, decorum. You can't talk to the chief anyhow. You must be very respectful to them. It's tradition, it's culture, it's the way it is. I don't know whether I'm qualified to touch it. There are people who are daring to touch it. I haven't. I don't think so yet. I think my problem is that when Nkrumah decided that when Nkrumah and the guys fought for Ghana's independence, they were trying to build a state, and that state is a unitary state. That state brings everyone else under it. Chiefs hold some positions, but they're really not as powerful as they would have been. They are no more agents. They are supposed to be agents of development as far as they can. But our biggest concern is the government. Chiefs are now more thought leaders and opinion leaders. So they push and advocate for development. If they are able to maybe get the people to perhaps contribute to developing a certain aspect of our lives, they do. But my concern is not with the chiefs. I'm not going to fight chiefs. Chiefs will not do what government says they can't do. No chief has that authority. And Nkrumah showed that. Nkrumah showed that even at a time when the kingdoms were still powerful, the state can still be overwhelming. Nkrumah showed that. So at this point in time, when chiefs have become weaker in terms of power has devolved more away from chiefs to our democratic institutions. I'm not fighting chiefs. I think they have to do the right thing. Chiefs have a mandate to do good by their people, but I did not. I am from Sogakope. I'm not a citizen of what do they call it? I'm not they don't call them when it comes to chieftaincy. You are an indigent. I am not an indigent of Etiwa. Etiwa concerns me. What happens at Etiwa concerns me to the extent that Etiwa is part of the bigger country called Ghana. So if something is happening in Etiwa, I'm not holding the chief responsible because I do not have that authority because I do not come from there. You can't go to anybody's hometown under traditional settings. I can't go to anybody's hometown and start dictating to the chief what to do. I'm a stranger. That's how it happens. My understanding of traditional settings, that's the way it is. I cannot speak about any chief except the chief from my hometown. I can condemn the chief to the extent of him being part of the unitary state, the bigger state of Ghana. So I will not hold the chief responsible. I'll hold my government responsible. My government is supposed to have power. If the government decides today that chieftaincy is outlawed, it will be outlawed. That's how powerful our governments are supposed to be. Chiefs are supposed to have a certain responsibility to a particular area. Beyond that area, that is not my problem. As I sit here, the Gamanche is not in my purview. I am a stranger on his land. If I mess up, under normal circumstances, if we are following the chieftaincy rules, if I mess up here, the Gamanche will be able to throw me out of here and kick me back to Sogakope. That's the traditional setting. So I don't know from what perspective I'm supposed to look at the chieftaincy issue. So that makes it difficult for me. Because if you mention Dubai, Kuwait, Morocco, those are kingdoms. There's a difference. They are kingdoms. They are run by monarchs. The Dubai Emirati people, they are monarchs. Saudi Arabia is a monarchy state. It's monarchical. So when they say the king of Saudi Arabia is responsible for the country. He makes decisions on where the country heads. So I'm very careful about those things. The dynamics have to be looked at carefully. You can't compare the Otumfuo in Ghana to the Saudi Arabian king. No. The Saudi Arabian king, everything in Saudi Arabia is in his custody. He's the custodian of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabian. Everything, the oil, everything is in his custody. So he uses it for the development of the people. Simple and straightforward. That's my understanding of it. The Otumfuo used to have some power. And perhaps is the custodian of the lands of Ashanti. But remember, once a land is sold to an individual, it becomes the individual's property. That's simple and straightforward. What they do is that they have a traditional authority, customary authority that's granted by the people to them. And they can use that power of the people to change something. But my problem is not with them. I don't have a problem with them. They exist because the state of Ghana, thinks they should exist. Chiefs exist because the state of Ghana thinks they should exist. The people within a traditional area have to demand certain things of their chiefs. If you're in Etiwa right now, you should be speaking to your chief. Traditionally, I have no business coming to fight your chief. Customarily, I have no business. I am I'm from Tugakope. I'm a Tongman. Even what do you call it? Even I'm from Sogakope. I can't even go and fight with the chief of Yevie. Talk less of the chief of go all the way to Bato. No, I can't do that. I'm overstepping my bounds. So, yes, it's a matter I cannot talk about based on that view. I hold the view that my problem is with the government. And I hold that government responsible because this is a democracy. Hadia is saying a good morning to us. Hope all is well with you. May Allah continue to protect you. Yes, for one thing, some Ghanaians don't think is the MPP Nanado are intentionally trying to destroy our children's educational background so that in the future only their children will be able to man affairs in Ghana. That is how I see it. Actually, Kobna is saying a good morning to us. Hadia is also saying a good morning. Afo Samilongma is saying a good morning. Udeduje, Lawrence Adai says those killed during the elections were criminals. And now another member of their court is suggesting that the government deploys explosives and landmines in the fight against Galamsey. Philip Adika says, my greetings to Eric B. Good morning, Senna. Good morning to you. Good morning to William Kese. Nice to see Eric B on the screen. Very nice looking brother. Please say hi to him for me. William Kese, I can hear you. William Kese joins us from Australia. Abdul Al-Hazak Zakaria says a good morning to us. Francis Agra says until tribalism is buried, Ghana will never make a headway. Good morning, family. Estella Gracela is saying a good morning to us. Selas Gamion says a good morning to us. To Eric and also the entire team. Good morning to you. Good morning to Eric Ode. Oh, what is happening to Ghana? Eric Ode says this particular Ghana is destroyed. Original person says a good morning. Please check. That's the problem. We'll see what we can do. The silence of a chief is inimical to their subjects. Let them talk. Good morning, gold. That's what I'm saying. That the subject of a chief is within his traditional area or state or whatever you call it. Those are his immediate concerns. The only reason that we have is only due to technological developments that you are able to determine, and the media, free speech, the media, that makes it easier for you to be able to talk about what happens in Asante. Ordinarily, by the settings of our chieftaincy, this thing, you wouldn't have even heard about what is happening in Asante. That's traditional authority. Traditional authority has lost power over the years. Power now resides mainly in the people who now hands it. You see, power has always resided in the people, even in traditional authority. So they hand that power to the chief. They hand that power to the chief because chief can be distilled. So they give that power to the chief, and now that power is devolving. The people have taken back their power and have now handed it to the government, a democratic government. And certain standards are expected of that government. And that government is comfortable with the existence of chiefs. But chiefs are only responsible for an area. When the chiefs don't talk about what is happening in their area, the chiefs are doing damage to the people in that area. But the reason we should be concerned is that what happens to one small area in Ghana affects every one of us. But then the responsibility does not go to the chief there. It goes back to the government. Because it's the government that is accountable to us. That chief is accountable to the people within that area, not to every one of us. We didn't put that chief on the seat. I never installed the Otumfuo. My chief is the chief of Sugakope. That's my area. Small. That's how I see it. That's my view. We can complain about things, but we should know who to hold responsible. We are also a people of customs and traditions, and we should understand our customs and traditions and know what we talk about, the way we talk about it, and how we talk about it. Eric Odo says, Eric, good morning to you. Good morning to Majid Mubarak. Good morning. And Octete, we apologize. We are seeing what we can do. Yao Amana is also joining us. Prince J. Carlos is also joining us. Nyaya says, good morning, Go family. So a friend asked, what advice will I give to the up and coming generation? I told him that considering the current state of our education, I advise them not to come at all. That's interesting. As someone just says, a good morning to myself and the Power Drive team watching live from Takwa. Please take the tuning and Garden Radio app. Thank you, Elulu. Thank you, Lulu. Because if not, we have to be careful in this country. Just because you can talk doesn't mean that. For example, nowadays, I see people on Facebook and other social media, and I get concerned, frankly, because there are things we should talk about. For example, one of my biggest problems in this country is Member of Parliament for Assin Central. I feel that there's a lot about him that needs to be dealt with. Okay. For example, he was recently angry at mentioning somebody's name as the killer of Amesuale. People go and buy data to go and watch him. Say those things. Make those comments. And then at the end of the day, we'll put him on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. Chairman. On that committee. That's worrying. That's very, very worrying. Because he just basically went and said that, imagine if Afewa woke up this morning, do a Facebook Live, and says that, I know who killed Amesuale. And Afewa goes to mention somebody's name. What will happen? Because under normal circumstances, if there's a case that the police have been trying to break, they have no lead, they are struggling with for days, and all of a sudden somebody somewhere said they can help you get that lead, the police will immediately jump there and try to get some lead out of it. This is the same man who put the picture of the guy and said somebody should, if you get him, beat him. I will stand for it. And he still continues. He's done several of these things. And he continues to. The people we put in positions of power have to be responsible to us. We have to hold them responsible. Our police force is not quiet. You see, I don't know how to put it. I think a friend in the police force recently told me that the politicians have taken over. Everything you want, you have to pay money for it. That's what a friend in the police force recently told me. That the politicians have taken over. Everything you want, you have to pay for it. Even guns and bullets, they do not have. Straight and direct. Even guns and bullets, they do not have. So where are we going with this? Natala Lagboja is saying, good morning. NDC should handle the EC with more attention and stop that 3 p.m. exercise. Habib Bantu says, and I did not hear Matinami do again. With the Jeff chieftaincy is effective. Towns like Takwa, Obuasi, etc. should be rubbing shoulders with the big cities in the world. That's why I'm saying that if we start blaming chiefs, we'll miss the bigger point. The bigger point is not the chiefs. The point is that there's supposed to be a minerals commission. That mineral commission should be devolved in such a way that areas where there are supposed to be minerals and others, that mineral commission, they do their work. There's a government in power. We have put the mandate. You see, that's why our president has read the constitution. President is very powerful. He's a very powerful person. The chieftains, even the chieftaincy institutions is regulated by an act of parliament. So what does that tell you? A chief that operates outside that act loses the position of being a chief. So the state, even the state is the one who decides who should be a chief. Because the state then draws up a law, regulations, telling you who should be, what the qualification of the person should be, what the person should do, how the person should act. Even how you install a person and all those things are by the state. So power resides in the states and in the president. Afewa, good morning.
Morning, Senna.
I hope you're well.
Why they not doing here? What's why?
By the grace of God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why they not see? Why they not see? Now, Ariana Kosu.
It's all well.
And now, unya light danra.
No, not really.
Na enra light no minim say na e dum so flashing there because me light no etimi yese say e kwa na ejina so
Yeah.
na edum at once na yese e san be so na say light no enra no de na e serious me experience be say that
it happened several.
last we be I'm say obi de be to Facebook na we twa ne de ana light yese na me ka say agoro sana yampa eno na me experience me de me small machine bia me boka credit radio and I say me ye na say me pese noise be kwa bontia na ma bo radio na ma ye ka ma tie nyum kakra no eno machine no akola pass it
because of the power.
And I said light in here so one for light anda
No, I didn't.
Me band opinion na light in here
I didn't sleep with light.
fit enro nyumre no be say 6:30 mo no na light in here sir.
When the light started doing that, I took all my appliances off electricity. Everything went off. I took everything off because I suspected that this thing would get somewhere.
Very serious.
So I took everything.
Now they doom so flashing pa, doom so flashing.
How's everything by the way?
Egumu kakra de bia na bibi fufura ba beto mo Ghana.
Yeah.
And nyumre na we say World Bank president say Ghana ya bob besian dodo. It's okay. Besian boni yenti no. Yen fix your country. I'm say what a wow. I am a funny World Bank phone we say bob besian dodo. Tino yen fix your country no. To almost come say campaign come do mo ho fix the country.
The IMF and the World Bank are going to fix the country.
Oh, they join the fix the country, you know. Mo do ho ajimbi. Na Europa League finals no say
Oh, true.
Oh, saying.
I'm not interested in Europa League.
Watch better how or they no say Okobo Champions League finals near the no. Oh, Europa League finals I won't find one.
That's Champions League.
This Arsenal for this home finals and coming in.
Arsenal.
But
Arsenal, they are a waste of time.
Oh, it's almost so many here. They said they go for Momo Bray, Blare for Mombray. One go keke keke. Come good. Imagine now one more dia ko finals but coach no kitabila won say eno so no e ban Europa so or expert yeah expert pa you know any small game small game me expect say Manchester United e betimi afa so at least you know only no wenya trophy ba ko bi e dia ya de yeah
anyway I hope so because my prediction about him is that he can't win Konko.
Yeah, you the Alex Chapman Ferguson so koi. Se Ferguson ne edru ba bi otimi players kasa ne ade anti Ferguson ne ka team na squad na omdom koye no enso ena unipa Harry Maguire so ko bi.
But he's injured.
Yeah, Harry Maguire ko.
He's injured, right?
Yeah, but still odem de na tumbi. Na ensem mienu bi wo ho se na ninam se ebi mu church from Kachi emrante awukromu aso se Heartofok be se 10 years in omo G League. Omo se Heartofok G League na se omo yire no man na 1 year kra dia okay. What is that?
What are you saying? What did he say?
Se Heartofok G League ko krom ha be se 10 years ni Togba afede wa se sika o team no ho saa omo ntimi nyi league. Until this year dear 2020-2021 season dear se Heartofok G League na Heartofok member ni nyina se some no mo yire kra ana some yire mka some no omno nda 1 year they are okay
as long as has as well.
Yes.
Where did you hear this story from?
Oh.
Where's your source?
My source? I'll provide the picture. Picture crying and I circulating there. Oh, taxi drivers, truck drivers at church home. Oh, you know see?
I have never seen it before.
Hey!
This is the first time I'm hearing this issue.
Oh, it is there.
Because as for you, nowadays, when you make certain claims, you have to provide source.
Oh, say how to book some money league now. League now, you no more na.
Why you have to provide the source of this?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Hey, Jet Morgan said, "How to book for."
Jet is what? What does he support? Kotoko.
Yeah, so I said, "How to book it?" Then I say, "Support Kotoko." No. Yeah.
So of all the teams in this world, he's supporting Kotoko.
Oh, send the Obi in the taste.
Kotoko supported there. Of all the teams in this world, he support Jet. You are supporting Kotoko.
How to book beautiful people with beautiful colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And you know, answer na me sorry no. Me dey say yin beba. Na yanko Zimbabwe. House bibia si ho. Mako Zimbabwe aba. Na as say Zimbabwe sex workers aho nyina no. Say eye bra omoje. Eye beans omoje. Zimbabwe.
So anything can
anything.
But I think it's that bad.
Oh. Are you serious?
If they give you 100 million Zimbabwe dollar,
it doesn't have value.
You can't even buy bread.
No, but I thought things are improving in Zimbabwe.
100 million Zimbabwe dollar.
Sure.
It is not the only country. Venezuela is in a terrible shape.
You can't even buy bread, a loaf of bread with it. See now, what was a scanning at the moment, no matter. Anybody will be as okay in here. Bro, Olunga Mako. No, actually.
No, who might be enemies.
So if you give anything,
okay.
And he said, "Me ma bro, now I'm a match." It will who did him fool. I'm saying, did you when you be go to mo, who did him fool? I'm saying, did you yeah.
That's what I'm with you. See,
who might be no. Sir, busy. Would be a busy. When you send away.
Zimbabwe. They didn't see this thing.
Zimbabwe.
They didn't say Ghana. They said
Zimbabwe. Oh, anyway, send away. Tino, who means what they are with you?
You are talking about Zimbabwe. What you said does not concern me.
Oh. And concern
but still obese.
Still obese. Into Zimbabwe. Who might be an Alice? No, so J. $5. Say said the ayeno. Umano $1 cry or Obama match.
Wow.
The whole day Obama match. $1.
A dollar is like a little over 5 cities, yeah.
Yeah. Obama. This is Zimbabwe no easy crack. Alice or mam me and son back from 4. Nisi envelope bibia ncheda nye no o ma na obegene saa say no say my course in the Africa no eni enya so.
We should be worried about Zimbabwe because we thought after Mugabe things will stabilize, things will get better, and they will make some. It's serious if the economic situation is still getting that bad. Everything
unimobia o ye na wa kire me na ya pay bi akwa koma no. So
Mace and
yeah, and you know oko me Facebook page hona stories na trending no trotro drivers how to fool trotro drivers and taxi drivers for no edom ho agimu no eda ho they all team dey ama tie for no mahwe why producer obi team dey da ho is here enye easy is it how to fool who support how to fool ka so ye but say obi ho a oye under 1 minute into no cry and say ne yira man match a whole year cry he's okay. Yes, he's okay. He's good to go. He's good to go 1 year. But 1 year is you.
Hey, yeah. So these are the stories you are interested in?
No, these are trending stories.
Trending?
Yeah, trending stories.
How many people know about this story?
Oh, a lot of people. Yeah. Now, IMF, any World Bank there, almost Ghana stop borrowing in fix the country. No, say trendy. Canada, Japan say I'm swally killers. No, or more when police for na as a more shield.
That's trending.
That is also trending. Yeah. No, so it's trending.
Yeah, and the Zimbabwean
thing is trending.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have beans like Eric said, then you are free. We can go. So our passport BBI, so we can go. Yeah.
We would fly to Zimbabwe. All because we have beans, we will go and
we have beans and maize.
When they meet you at the airport and say, where are you taking the beans to? You say that, what?
Because we
are going to donate it.
Yeah, Koche. You're chairman for more Zimbabwe.
No, you are going to engage in transaction.
Which transaction? Exchange is robbery. Producer the house the ane toso. Obo say or say has ejili na meyire enemy anam afimpo a mepe. Etwiu eno matro. Or say has ji leak na se meyire enemy anda afimpo a mepe. I'm okay.
That means a lot to them.
Yeah. So the trophy means a lot. Say the Inter Milan for Antonio Conte buy on my G Liga. She say no a lot to them no. How many aje? Who said this year?
When was the last time Hasu won a league?
But 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Sika to be say. Sika to be say. To be say.
Oh, you see the thing is on a trophy.
The thing is oh, you think I'm joking? It is trending.
This guy is fantastic.
Ghana League,
oh, Ghana League, this Ghana share in South Africa.
The
best say you because players are saying grab all the past 10 years.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Because I have to vote for Adio Masati and you.
Oh my day.
No.
Referees no Masati Tom.
Someone to referee bia. So Bia benefit from.
You can't make.
Masa.
Bia benefit from.
I will play with
you. My microphone.
If not,
allegation or yeah.
No.
What is no, Sana?
No, they come.
Yeah. Loss and say na natural position. So the referee can decide so on it. Because
you can talk about questionable refereeing decision. But that's a huge
all to the advantage of a class of folk.
Yeah, no. But are you saying Manchester United was buying? Because everybody compared.
But the time forget
that we're buying referees.
The time forgets what the Mumu was going.
Oh, which
Mumu from Mumu.
Tell me, I forget what.
And you Mumu forgets anyone so.
I don't believe this. I didn't cry. Manchester United versus Man City. At the Man City for was some player because Bobo referee. That much Man U for winning 4-3. Referee is 6 minutes in the goose.
My message time Michael we know or
Michael says
okay.
Referee Bobo now go 8 minutes. Oh, we still go down possible happen.
So to me pon. And I say no pon.
Man U.
What do you referee need to me?
Man U ne Arsenal colleague who some year be say now I think there was 1 point difference between them. Man U go home Arsenal ball away or Middlesbrough. Hey. Arsenal for you offside. No, offside. Now, Middlesbrough for nya alu penalty no Mauritius na 1-0.
No.
Na Man U for winning. Na ka 2 or 3 matches near end the league no.
And ejigu.
That's all. The league has ended.
Yeah. And you know
the same thing as Arouse of is doing.
And you know the most controversial but when you say Ghana League, obi timi more the amount.
See,
me Bobby no for them.
Using bonus for Kotoko.
Yay! Eric allegation Eric.
you are making sense.
Yeah.
No, go.
You know.
You are no more part of the conversation. Go. Now you know that has people they will come and beat us up here. Also they don't joke. You see, Mama B is saying that Afriwa.
Yeah.
The man should add his girlfriend too.
Who?
The person who has put it on the throttle.
Yeah.
That he should say, if my wife and my girlfriends, then that will make sense.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, it will make an impact. It will make an impact.
Yeah.
It is the wife that will lose.
Since has Julie, none na fikra ope. Hey, allegation me guess you grab any.
Are you house or Kotoko?
Me demusa.
What's them, sir?
Demusa. I'm here.
Kotoko supporter.
Eric Zambua.
They say you are a house supporter.
Eric Zambua.
They say you are a house supporter. Because of the allegation Eric has made, you are running away. Eric too can just come and make some wild allegations. And when you say it is true. Truth lies in your mouth. Afriwa.
Yeah,
go ahead with the news.
Yo. When I say last week, me beka teenage pregnancy stories bi oha. Research kakra, and some of the papers maybe Eddie Biaba say.
Okay.
Say educating kwara no. And after so if you go to some of the regions, pregnancy cases no.
It's going on.
Yeah, those.
I think it's something that a lot of attention needs to be paid to. Yeah,
those.
Yeah. But a lot of the teenagers who are in secondary school nowadays have spend more time at home than they spend in school. So what do you expect?
Suddenly, Senamaka se me kan wa se me nra me nam kwanso amikofia boy ba ko no wi school e ho. Me hu no mi tri ho basa. And no approach me say I just say I was here na uncle school ya so say nure so. Na wo hwe se de ni tri ho aye na odi nam na me nim se sa no. Otie because old school no now are very calm. But I don't know all of a sudden or DTT you know say a friend to say a you.
No, they have to find something.
You know, I was saying 24. Yeah, I'm saying 24.
Anonymous one says you are cracking, you are breaking his ribs.
Oh, I will not break it.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Over to you.
Yeah, okay. Would you like it?
Yes.
You always say for Ghana de Shimama nano pemraso say yedi ku wakrata no na poso yedi eba na nsema abankuto na yeba beka ho nsem na ukopie mu ewo Ablekuma Central MP Abdul Latif Dan ono ta hwehwe ni papa na was starting a thank you tour enyasim kuma akranti. Good morning to Abdul Latif Dan MP Edema Ablekuma Central constituency ye chiao ene anope na ene anope na na say we be ansa ye chiao man no do see ye chiao brakofi na na dua wodua ni kwate Vanderpoort George Dixon Livingstone mame Dodu KK o Denmark chiakese no bi sonko ma Jet Morgan man no do su ni Brown mo na face zudo mo obi bia amatimi am obi udi bia no na no pe ye chiao so a wo hwe no so no asida kese enkoma papa muni hwa yensu ni wato bia na ye ni sesa serebe ya ebitimi akoye ni tena no pai ko wakrata no na poso de bae no kuto enya bebeka wasem yenyi bi mfim yemfa bi nkan so bia ko di obi asem amana enu nyina no yebeba beka ewo dwumadie so ansana yetimi asore as usual team no very tight papa we say Abrantia Godwin and the atoso tafa yeda so sena numbo rasta what the first half na kwa kugwencha obesa ba no ba betoa so Abrantia Ransford Kwesi Boachar KB Chelsea fan pa na mpoya me boss Chelsea fo me lose Saturday no enyasim kuma kra enansi obi mpekekeli ye wono so etamachi pampe unyo obase no tawachi no miemia emiemia so de ya na kama papa Eric Boateng wono support Arsenal also take adwumadie no eba na afesu no Martinson enso ewo ho a lawyer wo hwe amadwumadie no nyina enso atimi aba still edie no SM Steven Mreku bitima frame afiriwa sa na afi yeko yenim enti enano pe esika gale udinetu Evangelist Steven Mreku matrase na yemfa krata edi kan ene anopai yemfa enhye ase de na krata na anopai ye de ehye ase no eye the inside krata na anopai Evangelist ɛna no pay inside krata no ɛna yɛde ɛhyɛ aseɛ na inside krata no pay wɔde Owura Martin Amidu a wɔno ɛyɛ former special prosecutor SP wenye school prefect special prosecutor nimfoni ɛda ha sanso ɛna minifa so no ɛyɛ Mr. Godfrey Yebu Adame ɔno so no attorney general ɔno so ɛda ha na Owura Martin Amidu ɛna ɔkasɛ new attorney general no ɛyɛ Mr. Godfrey Yebu Adame oye too young ena oni experience bia ena ba bia akwakotan ase oya ama amanyosem edidi ne team enema bia wo ye enema bia okeka no na se oya amanyosem edidi ne team ye pa inside krata na no pay wode honsem enso etimi aba enye asem kuma kra inside krata na nimu aso no ade a ukokopie mu enso the Environmental Protection Agency for and almost say pub be a friend Exhale Lodge pub and no East Legon Accra. Now almost say Ghana Yamamra Environmental Protection Law no one abuso Nienti amabuso nyane say omo receive a report be bre say any conform tete ebembembemben ho mekire Garden Street and omo mo AC shopping mall ho nyina East Legon ho e report aba ni nyina ne say omo say ade a Exhale Large pub no homo say emusie pa timi fi pub num eba musie pa na eba enye se be eho ahyi o munyina munim emusie pa na eba na se cigarette ni ayi egofo timi twini mi no ma jamu gu ha na smoke eba bonten wo mutimi frɛ ema fire service wo bɛkɔ se enye eja bia na ato a ni nyina smoke se enye smoke so pa dia na obeti de egofo ho se omukɔ adwuma ba anwumre no omutimi na eno ani dede ene shatawale nyi ano my level no me de sim omo be bossa unwia no ba eye stone boy ba wa saba ini ba na se sa dede ne doso ene say no Environmental Protection Agency for say Exhale Large pub for you say the excessive noise pollution pa ene ekoso East Legon ho a enya sem kuma akra inside krata na no pay what honsem enso etimi aba IMF for expose Ghana aban biu ni nyina bosia bo ne kai de ne ade na ehusem na IMF for de aba betu dwa oni say di ka kakra IMF for say say de bosia bo no ados no do eyedodo enti Ghana be ya fensi woni en fix country no eno so ewa ha sanso na the Socialist Forum of Ghana enra womo etimi eda dwumadi bi edi eno nyina African Union Day womo kire say ampa Africa no yaba betra si papa ntu na no pay inside kata no wono so dia wode aba ebi eni nti we inside enso ede eno no na ye fi inside yenkɔ ne nkonkɔhwɛ Chronicle kata no ena no pay na ena no pay Chronicle so ede aba na MMDCs no say their positions no enye easy crack about 715 and HAC 55 MMDCs positions or 5 regions. When any design semi atubia Owura John Boadu and the design semi atubia John Boadu and that means nifa eso ewaha sanso ena mrachewe jafie yeko mrachewe jafie ko piemu a mrachewe jafo ahya asetena ase enya senkuma akra interno ko piemu a order na parliament say omo eba beye omo be make a determination unim say everton etimi ekoso no Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa or resign he say no enche empanifo ye say nhwemu etimi ekoso nche nhwemu no betimi abana wie momdom report no enso etimi akwakoma eye speaker na Chronicle kata na sign eden self-for ababiu ni nyina ene say eye the acting Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana, His Excellency Gambo Yusuf Hamza and odi ato abanim ese osre aban papa wombie yenuanom Nigeria for omo Niger for shops a ye lock here no yembie bi emfa emom no mo hyase no mo nyede be omo ton ye ma sense nkrofo bi Nigeria for bi mo chom papa wo sore anopa e wo so mu chi na omo kokope eye eduane e omo nanfofo ho eno so enye bra mo shops an komitimi aton ane ntom shops na aban tutum ni nyina no wo mo hwe na omo mbie bi emfa emom we acting Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana, His Excellency Gambo Yusuf Hamza and on this side Sergey and so ato eye Ghana and so anemu anase Ghana company anemu ewaha CID forces say womo eye nhwemu and the afa and national security operatives a womo ekopie mu e hotel ba akubi ewo asankragwa na omo kwaye no na say sikabotie bi o makofa fi wakopam nkrofo bi fi awa be menya national security for dey say munye bio enti CID perifo say say wo mo eye hwemu e dey afa saa ensem no ho a eno so enya asem kuma kra chronicle krata no wo dey aba krata fa to so mienu enemy ensa ko ho a ensem nyina eguo Albert Kandapa ono national security minister papai enso emfoni e wo krata yi mu enim ha na okwa ekirewa Manchester United ene Villarreal ene UEFA Europa League womo the final game no ehye so na Unai Emery wono ebebe manager edima Arsenal ofi Sevilla eno ba Arsenal na nyenyenyenye ma Arsenal for pamono ndi say no okofa Villarreal no odomo kwa kupimu ewo Arsenal sanso ena Ole Gunnar Solskjaer aka Ole Gunnar Soldier wono so the Manchester United ekwa kupimu ewo finals a enyasem kuma kra na Abrantia Thomas Partey ena kupimu London esa Abrantia wa flout COVID-19 rules adan wa attend illegal party Thomas Partey yes on so George ni kura ewo UK ho enye easy kura ene kechenyu obeti so kode de wodi gine ni wo land ho enye asem kuma into a flout COVID-19 rules wa attend illegal party into COVID-19 rules na wa flout no Thomas Partey ni mfoni ewo krata no emu ha we sports stories kakra wa Abrantie Sergio Kun Aguero so a oni City fo awie bibia no ese no odenani e kire ba bi foforo nkra ne se okwa kopiemu ewo Barcelona eno so ensem abusiafo ewa ha nti Chronicle enano pay ni die nie na yefi Chronicle la yenkon GT Guinean Times na si be se Guinean Times so ewa ha na COVID-19 vaccination no ehyasie na ahyasie a obi mbekọ no mudi nim eho nsensem aye bebre they say the Ghana Health Service for say omo extend COVID-19 vaccination no e dey akọ efieda aida nim about 275,000 so far ena omo etimi receive second jab and also no GT Ghanaian Times e don nsem aba ntemfonia wa ha no Mr. Nathaniel Neti wono oteho Deputy Head of Finance NMC ena oteki ni jaba eno so no ewo krata GT Ghanaian Times anywhere na GT Ghanaian Times assign ede ensem bi aba ni nyina Ghana Health Service for the no bi na we Child Right International for eno say omodo ntuma akwa bo mpanifo ede ano se de be ya won be share campaign bi ase na omahwe na yetimi akon edietia children's right ye abuse no ekrum ha enti no Child Right International for apatna National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Sharbutu wono enkoa ena Ramadan Cup krum ha ye yusu video assistant referee fadama ye bo Sheikh Cup no video assistant referee born bobi sa referee na hu ena TV bo na referee kokohwe Sheikh ono so no edaha eyase nkuma akra nti GT Ghanaian Times and also edaha police from akuma enwotwe ena krata ehemu se womo ehye enkrofo ebimu Uber drivers eji wo musika edifiu omonsema omanfa kwan paso na bese 38,000 Ghana cedis ena omji edifiu adroba for ne ho the sent no ade amperifo se omoyenhwemu we the Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer PRO Deputy Superintendent of Police DSP Efia Tenge mami ne huya me fe papa owanu nyam esen wachi nyam ano this ansemi etumi eto nsenchofo enim enra GT Ghanaian Times edo hunsem enso aba enyasem kuma kra still GT Ghanaian Times assign the eba ene anopay na ochemu ese wukopiemu enso ewo Upper East Regional first quarter of the year no emprewanyi sen akoso ewo Upper East Region no abusiafo enyasem kuma kra emprewanyi sen no adoso hodododo womo etimi record 1,639 pregnancies in the first quarter and emprewanyi sen Upper East enyasem kuma o enyasem kuma kra na mukai se emrebi atwa mese last week ena mede sa report no ebrem se ade emprewanyi sen ekoso krum ha no abusiafo edoso pa ntimpanifo betwo mani ahwe ho a womo entwo mani emfa hwe o isan se reset kakra me ye no chere say teenage pregnancies no dose papa nti mpanyinfo hwe na ade asantemantam koto no 17,000 over 17,000 ebi ho Eastern region 10,000 and over, Central region 9,000. I say and the upper is young so etimi ababetuma and also no enya semkuma kra nti we GT Ghanaian Times and so dia odia ba na oko GT Ghanaian Times achia dia nadmofo ena ehye Ghana fo nyana kra say munya na munya hwe yi esan say be June July August de ensubrani bia eba beto okrom ha no sisi kra de nso ni mu na ento na hu maka kakra na ejai bone na doso enti nadmofo say hey June July August ensubrani ba beto pa enti ensiesie ho ensi eno so no GT Ghanaian Times echi ho no aba betom kunkron a ene wosem emamo yenhwe the Daily Dispatch so dia ba na mfoni awa no Dr. Entwibosiako Entwi Danso Vladimir Entwi Danso oha Mami Jen Mensa Adokwe EC boss odaha Mr. Samuel Tete Deputy EC boss odaha Dr. Boss Manasare Bwachi Adamfo Deputy EC boss ono so daha na the awanya ne say 2020 elections no best ever in Ghana when any dey say semi atubia Dr. Entwi Danso eno dey atubia entabusuafo the Dean of the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College Dr. Vladimir Entwi Danso eno say Electoral Commission for o rate mo pa say obi bo ne nyomo rate me o rate mo pa from the PNDC era to the Fourth Republic mo ye djuma papa enya semkuma kra mo bodjuma pa best ever in Ghana and some of the atudwa no so and a former PNDC we a former PNC eno hwan Bernard Muna semno mo kan na o say only two political parties pe exist okroma eno ani NDC and NPP omamaka ni nyina no nsonkuru so into only two political parties over 1,300 and apply for MMDC adwuma no enye easy nationwide o Ghana man peni na nado danko akufuado abusianfo ono so emfoni eda the Daily Dispatch enso anywhere nti anopai Daily Dispatch de kakra ono so de aba eni ye fi Daily Dispatch yanko the Daily Guide na Daily Guide also ede aba Daily Guide chem say Ghana man peni na nado danko akufuado wa meet Pan African MPs oni say ogusua monto akopie mu ewo South Africa na wakwa committee Pan African MPs ho a enya senkuma akori say Ghana form na shebidwa fododo na ebi wo ho a omoka Pan African MPs no enso eho na ubetimi aka First Deputy Speaker and MP for Bekwai Joe Wise Okahubi Deputy Majority Chief Whip and MP for Ensoma Dwejiri Frank Anodompre Ekahubi Minority Chief Whip and MP for Asawasi Mohammed Muntaka Kahubi wana MP for Sutifi Collins Dauda Kahu ena Infantiman MP Ophelia Hayford womu nyina eka Pan African MPs Ghana mapeni na nada danko akufuado wono mweshia uko piemo enso Jomra MP ahono Dorcas Afo Tofi Dorcas Mami Dorcas oye koko kama ena ode ayibi agboniti ena o shata de na ode chain kakra bi atunu kom efe na ni nyina ne se ne court awa nyina ne se dual citizenship ena yesu kitanto omra court na omra mechechiremu ochi hine soso etimi ahwe ama State Housing Corporation for asase about 200 acres of land enti ochi hine amuti ofori penny infoni enso ewa ha na ukopiemu enso ewa kratafa atoso enwotwe a ensema ho nyina ene se na abayo Sandra Abebio enkrofo dodo na enimu no oye sinitwani o se obi a oyi movie bia no o di batwi mu a sinitwani enti so osan eti movie ase a yebetima kan se sinitwani a oti sinitwa ase sinitwani a oti sinitwa ase a friend Sandra Abebio ena wa deny say necrophobic kaka say Lewen to the niggas on the block yo one ne twetwe one ne twempena e ma Lenwe kura nkofo say Lenwe ahyeso ama Sandra Abebio bebre o se dabi enye no kreda na say Lenwe edi na busuafo bebetu social media na mu say ono Sandra ka ho Sandra se no ka ho ono no business wise juma kuto eno ne Lenwen Lenwen ehunu se Sandra wo juma eno ne juma na se ofa chiri no ne Lenwen akotwempra no ne Lenwen akohyeso de Sandra bebi o se da bi ebi ni ho sa enti mo abokeka nyina se Sandra bebi o one Lenwen to the niggas on the block yo one ne twempra ne ade no Sandra se mpamcho enyampa eno so no ababeto daily guide enso anim eha na oko daily guide echia Brantia Thomas Patel of flouted COVID-19 rules or attend the party illegally, no, and also Ewaha. Hansi Flick, the same look I say, the German football, one no Amabe, the German national team head coach. Now or no air coach, Edema a Bayern Munich. They say Bayern München. He say no, we judge man at all. Wakwakofa a Germany national team coach, you know, and so Eddie Aton was when they say Iru no Aisha say June 11 no ono enodomo kwa enya se kuma kura busianfo eno so ewo daily guide enso echia na yenkohwe daily analyst so dia ba minorities for ablaste minister hwan kwesi amuakwata ono na ba beto dwa se ono ne ekwan ya de kɔ ne kurom kuto na papa yi okwa oyi hongutu intemi say press conference no na say you must back up no catch Ghana for say yen sorry waka na hwe eden a Ghana mampani na nadan kwakufu ado akwan ya waye no em say bia na ne kurom hode no na oka ti minority for a blast papa atwetwe no abasa ne asra enyasem kuma akra repackage rules eno ewa ha AU Day, Ghana Mampeni na nada danko akufuado say let's make our people prosper. Eno eda ha. Ena okopie mu nso ewo ARB Apex Banker. Tension wo ho no. Enyasem kuma akra Dr. Anthony Obin, chairman of the board of directors. You see, ye person obi ko na obi ba be director wo na ase basa. Tebusian for eno so ewo ha. Headmistress are preventing 5 pregnant peoples. Adenya ye wo mo cho BC wo ma fa efunu enti we headmistress edima efutu MA basic school ena wo say he wo ma mo cho BC ni nne encho no china se mo sema ya se mo de mo akwa fa nyinsen mo cho BC no enti no so daily analyst tata no odi aba edaha daily analyst no mra se be dwafie so no ma hye dwumadi ase enti no okopie ma Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagben wa open second meeting of the 8th parliament and also ewa ha Herald anim ha edaha sa ena Ghana for you say de ye be sore no Abrante Caleb Kuda ye kobo no ye ensanse mo de smart city FM journal say bro mo ne ade no Abrante ba kwa no kan wa you say the national security for mo onko tire Ghana for ye da sore ya se papa yi ya sam mani post a enyase guma kra and also ewa Herald anim ha eti Herald anim ha no Enfoni awa no Kandapa National Security Minister Vice Admiral Amwama CDS odaha Major General Opon Pepra odaha Lieutenant Colonel Frank Ajiman ono so ewaha enti ehun sem no National Petroleum Authority ne Ghana Revenue Authority for ene yese mo bua sam nkrofo bi se state-owned companies for say omomuntua tax omo evade taxes asemu krum ha into Herald so no busia for the honsama ba Herald die nie publisher Ghana Mampeni na nado danko akufado at the 5th parliament of the Pan-African Parliament in Johannesburg, South Africa. Ono so edaha enya sekuma o say akufado calls for United Africa into we publisher there ono so dia ba 2-year-old baby burnt to death. Semu wa share ohwemfoni a ha busuafo enya semkuma akora we publisher edie a dia ba yanko hwe daily graphic so dia ba say government reviews tax exemption regime. And after so parliament so say obani abrepa o ma hya se o ma ye adwuma yi bills bebre aba beto mo proso bills no bebre enye light bill na say utility bills so dabi o mo bills bebre say so mo pass so in the speaker say o mo ba behwe petroleum management amendment bill ho 20 2021, the Supplementary Appreciation Bill 2020 the Exemptions Bill 2021 the Ghana Standard Authority Bill and also the Consumer Protection Bill the Advertising Cycle Bill and also Advertising Council Bill and a number of private member bills. Ninja eguho on bebehwe na affirmative bill ni nyina nso go a o ma behwe na o ma bibia nso etimi akoso kama enti we daily graphic ne de kakra odi aba eni na K2 Hospital gathering dust. K2 Hospital almost 2 years after the inauguration of the new municipal hospital in the K2 North municipality in the Volta region. The facility is yet to put into use. Oh, already. Daho yemfanya hwe. I say hospital no kuma kra de say na eden into the front view of the hospital ewa and some logistical installations and no facility one and also no edaha. Completed work. We have finished with our work and you can see all the equipment are in place. Now so still almost 2 years. And also Yamfa krata busianfo twa to kra yamfa media na say amponsa course on Morocco's ambassador to Ghana. And after no panic over 2013 bust report enyasem kuma Emmanuel Amakofi Boadaha Alhaji Hudu Yayawa ha ena John Kojo Akofo ono so ewa ha and a big gamble over KMA position uko KMA wa abusiafo and also enye easy kura KMA honye easy adanya mu pepani kese pa bi eho ne hise no ase obia pese ne de ene de ne hya ho obia pese ne de ye de ne kokoto enti no big gamble pa ekoso nipa be se makomako enkron ena epe the mayor of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Kumasi Montinso asem na mekan na the government and the New Patriotic Party I say they are in a fix over who becomes the next mayor of Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly enti nipa makomako enkron ediamba bipiem Sanso ena Jubilee House enso edi one kese pa ama ministers MPs and afezo MMDCs say monama na mo siren no pi mon person be di traffic access basa enti one kese pa ena efi Jubilee House a ye de ama ministers MPs and afezo no MMDCs a wo mu eyusu siren no omo say etiamra pa na ambulance for enetimi eyusu motor vehicle ene wo mum didi aban nim ne ade na etimi eyusu saade no enti ebusianfo eno so ewo inquisitor krata no enim ha enti ebusianfo na nopai inquisitor krata no ene yedi awie kra yedi di nyina awie enti the papers a ene eba ene anopai no ena yaba be yini makoma akode honsam enso amamwa enya senkuma kra na napoda ha daily graphic napoda ha ena osi improving street lighting energy ministry GSA to the rescue omo eba behwe aboa ama ye street lighting no eno so etimi akoyi napo Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe aka Napo oda daily graphic ha national enkrofo napo no unisias we no omo no national power outage. Outage. National power outage. Napo. Any national. Uno. NA. National power. P. And any near national. P near power. And outage near O. Oh, okay. Napo. Or that. Now, what you say, I shall see quite a boom. Entino. No. Entikrata nano pay a bagwamasono. And one, kakra. Ede ehonsem enso amamono na ye de ebia na utie mi wo hwe wo problem kakra o problem ni nyina ene se adwumasem ayedin meka adwumasem a empaso agora ayedin ana se wo yare bia how ni nyina na no pay furniture Agbozo Herbal Clinic na Agbozo kra de foforo abagwama so a enche mene sena ene Eric yɛbɛkɔ ne akɔ akɔsra no na afei yɛapɛ bi aba na akyiri yɛde ho adanseɛ Agbozeba clinic sɛ yare bi ɔsa no ebi any premature ejaculation under 1 minute for no petre na yo ɔde akɔ akɔgu pacho a problem hapa onya house of folk fana pacho menye petre na yo prostate enlargement osa erectile dysfunction be mebo ha ne be ma na hodi nim sa ontimi nya dwuma yie se so de e ma ne bi wo a o matenka no bu akiri enti e wo sebi wo ya dwuma kwa akiri ansana watimi ayeyi enti no se odie no enya pacho fo ani kire Agbozeba clinic erectile dysfunction obehwa aboa low sperm count we mebo ho a ne sperm so emu nheda ahodi nim sa ma ntimi fa nyinse oba ebeba o na emom no ahodi nim ne kwamoa no kwamoa wo mu no awuwu low sperm count alternate penis enlargement eno kra de oni wawie kra candidiasis white a high nuanu ma ni bi emo egu amaware egu omo mpranatwe de bekwa awade mu no eno so yi de fi ho pause koku eno so no Agbozeba clinic wo ye fi ho agbozo die se wo kana semo a ye nkama ne nya tententen esa nyuma pa wadidi aboa Ghana for na face ye nuanu bi mo a wo mo amano ni enti dimpacho number 3 ni som je troto na frɛ chat no 0241 750 282 0241 750 282 and I say 0557 402 696 0557 402 696 for number C oye juma ebenada ejuoda ni nyina okwa kwesi eda kra oye juma no pa nonso na wahye dwuma di ase udo ni che Agbozeba clinic a ode ka che ne se doc bacho meti se omo ebubo so already good ho obeye ofan ise kra de o si or they send you outside Ghana or any free crowd amount. So on free delivery. San la near the idea about between they send free delivery. And yasum kumakra. A yebis and crofwa dance here. Omudi edifa Agbozeba clinic. Nimrona nini mapa or ye ede Emma Ghana for no. General pay ono ene so yasene Emma Jumadi ni na no. Yede ebro. Sena numbo. Rasta watransi.
Wait. I have to play something for you.
You play something for me?
Let me play something short
okay.
For you and see what you say about it.
Play it for me.
It's the hit track of the year.
Hit track?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. What a wow.
Some people don't like the track, but I'll play it. This is the track.
Okay. Play.
President Akufo-Addo started fixing roads in Ghana in a very strong manner from 2017. So at times it's ridiculous that you hear somebody saying we are in 2021, fix roads. You are far behind. You are years and months behind. Those people should double up and follow us and know where we are. We have left them behind. When roads were being fixed from January 2017, with speed, but without sacrificing quality. Hey, 4 or 5 years on, we should fix roads. You are late. You are far behind. Get up and run and catch up with us, because we have gone far.
Have you heard the track?
But the track in the air, sir. Baby, oh, see, you are far behind. Double up. Hey. I want to hear chorus, no.
That is his response. He said, fix the road.
Yeah.
And then that is his response. That's the roads minister.
Oh, okay. But also, I say, who am I? No.
Lawyer. They said there.
Mwakwata lawyer.
Lawyer Kwesi Mwakwata.
Oh, lawyer. Lawyer Kwesi Mwakwata. Nando pay a chair. Why?
So double up. And catch up. So if you can't see the road, it means that you are in 2016.
Na nyo no allegation mi ba so ni krumu kwankwan na oye no. Unkai.
That's why he said they are fixing the roads instead.
They be there one ho no.
That's why I said. He's the minister of roads for Kwabe. And that's where he is. That's his area.
Yeah.
So he's doing a fantastic
job
in that area, and where's the Chebi area and those things. He's doing a good
but in actual fact, Okohona, Omagua asphalt in the
yeah.
Quite a short be a Yoguso. Who say a Honson Oqua? Me Braco Warrior, a surfer baby, Anya Suos, Bussiaso. Oh, short, a Yaguso.
Well done.
Oh,
I hear they have some of the best roads.
Baby,
since Kufuor came to power, they've ruled their rules have gotten very, very well.
Yeah, baby, who say a roads, no, Kitwa, short, baby, demarcations, baby, Nina.
They are all as
You call Bussiaso, Wissiaso, me Braco Warrior, to me call.
That's good. That's good.
There is a honor or canoe. A honor, Marquate can.
Yeah. So when you also become president, you asphalt the area where you come from. Yeah, and that's all.
Yeah,
that's all that is development is about. You develop your area nicely. Well, so if you're just joining us, the Go Power Drive. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have a much more sustainable link, so you can watch us. But unfortunately, we understand our tuning and our simple radio and the listening platforms which you can listen to us are not working effectively. Okay, so our technical director will work on it, and then perhaps if you can hear us today, tomorrow it will be put in good shape, or for Pampas, so that they can get to listen to us. But thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. My name is Sana Nyombo. Afeiwa is still here with me. Afeiwa has a story that he's following actively about the Zimbabwean issue.
Yeah.
Yes. One of your men is here. Sebiga is behind you.
Oh, sir.
Yes.
And
very, very
very
important. So he's open his mouth. He wants to find out what the issue is. All you need is maize and beans.
Yeah. Oh, you are good to go.
Maize and beans. Bring maize and bring beans. That's all.
Yeah.
We are cool.
The whole night.
Jeff says a good morning, Zena. I always stay up to watch you and the team. I'm so disappointed in the MPs of NDC, especially those who took double salaries. They should pay it back. So now we don't have chiefs in Ghana. Ghana there. I can't just wait for the you and the touching committee. Jeff is joining us from Switzerland. So thank you. Thank you to those who are listening to us from Switzerland, Australia, Japan, those places where it's getting close tonight. And those of you who have woken up very early in the US to just tune in and listen to us. We are very grateful. The rest of you in Europe during the day, you're just like us. Thank you. Thank you. Udeduj says, Afeiwa, is that the only thing you came out from this Zimbabwe with? I wonder, Seth. Dr. Dumbler in Apelsika said the hardships and high cost of living in this country is unbearable. Nothing is working. Everything has increased except the performance of the president. People can't afford lorry fares because they don't have jobs to do. Unemployment is at an all-time high. Despondency is boldly written on the face of Ghanaians. There's no end in sight except change of government. Hard time to be a Ghanaian. I would prefer traveling to Somalia than to be in Ghana. My regards to Dr. Nanama Brown Klute. Don't be so sure. Habib, they give you fans. Afraid one year. Felix in Jefferson Chow says a good morning. Watching you live from Telford in the UK. Mama B says he should include his girlfriend. Zachary Freedom also giving fans after 1 year. When you get to the airport and they question you about the beans, you tell them that you're going to engage in barter trade. I just read the World Bank asking the president to stop the borrowing and fix the country. Can they ask the president of the World Bank to fix himself? You're borrowing to fill your pockets. You pay because you said you own the country. Salas Gabion says, Eric, Charlie, stop that right there. Your allegation against phobia can't be substantiated. Phobia. Hajia says, Efokani, save your breath on Ahmed Suale's matter. Not because it doesn't concern or pain me. Where are the family of Ahmed? What are we saying or doing? Are we not nordness? Have we lost our values as nordness again? I rest my case. Brother Kole is also joining us saying a good morning to us. Paloya, good morning to you. Good morning to Udeduj who says, hey, Afeiwa, only your intro. Udeduj, Kere Japan is a prime suspect in the cold murder of Amesu Alenjebi Dankwa. Nick Quatevanderpoy says a good morning to us. Myself, RKB, Nancy Henry Afeiwa, technical team, and a good family. Habib, fix the country is trending. Sana, kindly bring back our Nancy, please. And he goes ahead. Habib goes ahead to ask, so who killed Ahmed Swali? Kekalieli Kemkenam. Afewa, I confirmed and certified you as the best of the best these days in radio. You always make us happy. Abdurrahman says, present sir. Margaret Watkins, good morning. Habib Bantu Sana, what happened to the RTI bill? Does it exist? Oh, very much so. It does. There is now a law passed into law. Achu Pizoke Ake is saying a good morning to us. Paul Togo 1. Good morning to you. Hi. Uriel Zin Asamoah says, please, where did lawyer Amakwata get his law certificate? Because I don't think there's any lawyer in this world with such a mentality. How can you win a case? Oh, okay. Abi Raphael says, we thank God we made it to Europe to escape the hardship in Ghana. Thank you, Senator Abi Raphael. Good for you. Good for you. He said, made it to Europe too. Eram Dolafia is joining us via YouTube saying the power station. Dapa Bismarck, a very good friend. I feel we're listening to this carefully. I pity you people insulting the leadership, and you want the same people to open Radio Gold. You think they wash their face upwards or what? Oh. Yeah. So we can't talk about them. So if we want our radio station open, we should say nice things about them.
Oh, okay.
Nana, you do all.
Nana
is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's the best president ever. There's no president like him.
No.
You built Akozombo Dam, Tamamoto Way.
Yes.
You got independence for Ghana.
Yeah.
Dapa, I hope you are satisfied.
Nana has sporting ways.
Sporting ways.
Yeah.
Nana has sporting ways.
Yeah.
This one, dear. Oh, no, I feel what. You have taken the tea too far.
Oh, say, yeah, so I say, you come for 90. Maybe I can't come for 90.
Well, Ben Texas says the whole traditional council made up of the wisest men met. When all the wisdom were put together, the decision was to kill a human being. The state sanctions killing is to be executed by the gods. Gabriel Kwashi Gatri says, Radio Gold, the only power station in Ghana, and a thorn in the flesh of this Galamsey corruption government. That's Gabriel Kwashi. So thank you. If you're joining us via YouTube, a big thank you for joining us. Our YouTube channel is Radio Gold Live TV. You can get to join us. But thank you for sticking with us. People are supplying videos of the JB roads that we should look at it. I've never been there before. I think I say the roads are well.
Oh,
very nice.
Kwanefe.
Better than the roads in our area here.
Oh, now the way why in Sotoya, a mass was a moase no. A hadian. In Soto and a maso to me, Pijanis as a moase. So, ni moase.
No. But me, my tree is not that.
Oh, I said,
confusing me.
Ben try as one more and one more. Uyusu and waka crentino. I say na anshi. Uso to me must say.
Yes. That is very nice. You think that is that. Oh, but in fact, the roads they constructed around this area. Hey. In fact, these roads they have been surfaced like three times. Ever since they constructed it. First time we went, they came, they did some surfacing. In fact, there's a particular road when you're going to, is it Sokora or something?
Yeah.
When you go and take the there's a road on your left, a small one.
Yeah, left.
Yeah. They did it. But now if you go you won't look like as if
I didn't know say a Tory be Ayana, and yam a manusema in here. I didn't and yet.
Yeah.
So, and yet, a quiet so we a quiet na.
No, it's all gone.
Oh,
it's all gone. It's all damaged. And something we can't talk about anyway. That public smack. Nana has that all. In fact, Nana has what do you call it? Yeah, Nana brought cocoa to Ghana.
Oh, okay. Nana brought cocoa.
Nana has bitumen surface all the roads in Ghana.
Okay. So we are still praising Nana.
Praise Nana.
Keep on.
So that he can give us our frequency.
And one.
Yes. Since we now have to praise him to give him.
Same message is praising Nana.
Yes. We'll praise him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, due to Mark Zuckerberg, we can see. So if Mark Zuckerberg has not introduced Facebook, Whoever introduced YouTube and all those, if they are not introduced, how do we? So we keep quiet until Nana opens the radio station. And then we come and praise him. Nana has done all. Nana is champion. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Anyway, let's see where we are going as a country with this kind of attitude. It's very sad. Very, very sad. When we are young people, let's understand something. This country is ours. As young people, this country is for us. If it goes wrong, who will suffer the most? At Nana's age, he's president of this country. But to be very frank, have you met a 70-year-old man before? I bet you've dealt with 70-year-old men before.
Yeah, 70 years.
Does it look like they are really interested in what is going on?
Oh, that.
They are past it. They feel that we've gone past
70.
By 70, if you haven't done anything, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, so it is us who should be the ones who should be putting him on his toes, speaking. That's why I get surprised when people mention is it Reverend Professor Matthew or something. That man is an old man. He should come and be talking for you. Is it his problem? His time has passed. He needs to be on retirement. He has said his own. Whether he said it under your government or said it under the government of Nkrumah, he has said it. So you talk for yourself now. Pretty shortly, we'll be speaking to Dr. David Percy this morning once again on a couple of issues that are making the news.
Number you're calling is busy. Please.
Mistake. Well, so we'll try and we'll get Dr. Percy on the line shortly and have a conversation with him on some of the things that are happening in this country. In the meantime, let me read to you that story about the World Bank, what the World Bank is telling us, because that story has been trading for a while, and a lot of people are pointing attention to it because essentially it's backing up what everybody has been saying about the Ghana state, the debt that we have currently. The story was first carried by myjoyonline.com. And it's the source that everybody keeps going back to.
Okay.
I'll read that shortly. I'll read it shortly. Okay, so that's the story is headline: Ghana must hold down a non-concessional borrowing. World Bank president, and it was on the 21st of May 2021 to 27 p.m. And it says the World Bank president, David Malpass, is asking Ghana to reduce its non-concessional borrowing because of its impact on future generations. And non-concessional borrowing is this kind of borrowing that they do on the international market through bonds. According to him, holding down non-concessional debt means higher interest rate debt, because that burdens the further generations. That's a quote. Mr. Malpass was responding to a question posed by Joy Business George Wiafi, who participated in a virtual media roundtable for some journalists in Western and Central Africa. The World Bank's president call is coming when Ghana has been classified as high risk of debt distress country by the World Bank. Ghana's debt stock, according to the Bank of Ghana, has reached 291 billion cedis ending December 2020. This represents 76.1% of Ghana's debt to GDP ratio. There have been several proposals on how government should move fast to deal with the situation, while government, on the other hand, claims that it is working to deal with the challenge. President Akufo-Addo recently at a meeting in Paris called for debt cancellation for some African countries. But in response to some of these proposals, the World Bank president talked about some initiatives that the bank understands can be used to deal with this challenge. The president revealed that the bank supports the G20's Debt Service Suspension Initiative, or DSSI, which has provided fiscal space to countries to cope with the impact of a pandemic. 16 countries from West and Central Africa have requested to participate in the DSSI as of April 2021. However, participation by major creditors has been only partial and continues to allow large profits to be withdrawn from Africa, even during the crisis, with no prospect of debt cancellation. He noted that a permanent solution is necessary to reduce the stock of debt in the poorest countries. The World Bank and IMF are closely coordinating to support the G20 in implementing the G20's common framework for debt reduction. In response to another question by the Joy Business reporter, Mr. Malpass noted that there's also the need for government to be transparent with both the debt taken on the investment projects that the debt might fund. The World Bank president also revealed that he's also working closely with World Bank and IMF as we look to have countries have sustainable debt burdens rather than unsustainable debt burdens. The World Bank has announced that it is currently preparing a new country partnership framework in Ghana with new government in place. Speaking alongside the World Bank president, the World Bank vice president for West and Central Africa, Usman Diagan, noted we are also using a very inclusive approach to make sure that the private sector and civil society will be part of the dialogue that will lead to preparing a new strategy. So essentially what the World Bank is saying is that, yes, there's currently an initiative that's aimed at, that's why they call the DSSI, that's aimed at getting countries like Ghana some level of reprieve from debts. It's called the Debt Service Suspension Initiative. So they are putting in place an initiative where they will suspend your servicing of debts, money that you've borrowed. But the problem they are encountering is that those who are giving out the monies to countries like Ghana are not interested in coming on the platform. So they are more interested in taking back their money.
Okay.
So all they want is their money. And what they are trying to do is get such countries to come on board the initiative so that they can suspend at least the servicing of the debts, at least in the pandemic period. But then the World Bank says the biggest problem of Ghana is that a lot of its debt is non-concessional, which means that debt that they do not have control over, debt that are owed to creditors that are usually private people who will not play with their money. They still want their money. They want their interest rates paid. Even in the midst of difficulties, they want those monies. So the monies that we keep going to the bond market, right now, I know we are in the bond market. I don't know whether we've taken the monies we want to take. We're in the bond market. We are planning to go back to the bond market again. So World Bank says in that situation, it makes it difficult for them to intervene in any form when it comes to Ghana's situation. I feel what, as you see, there are places you can borrow. For example, if church is giving money, you understand? A church is deciding that they are giving people loan. The church will not treat the loan in the same manner as you going to take money from Eric, because the church will see you as a contributor to the general wealth of the church. You contribute to whatever the church has. You see, that's the issue with World Bank, IMF, and those things. We contribute to them. So when they give us money, they don't treat it the same way as a private creditor would do. We have a growing appetite to borrow from the bond market. Those are monies that belong to private people and private institutions. They give you their monies for a reason. It's investment to them. The World Bank is not investing, but they are investing. That's why the World Bank can give you $1 billion at 0% interest. $1 billion. $1 billion to you and say that just pay back the $1 billion.
No interest.
Nobody in this world will give you $1 billion at 0% interest. So there's a difference. So the World Bank president said we need to curb our appetite for going onto in the international market to borrow. When you borrow those amounts, you can't come back for debt forgiveness. Who should forgive you? The World Bank has no control over creditors. People will give you money. People are looking for ways of investing their money. If a country comes to them, country like Ghana, gold, cocoa, diamond, oil, and all those things comes to them and say, come and borrow me money, lend me money. Won't you lend the money to them? They'll come pay. Yeah, so they'll continue to take their money, even in the midst of difficulties. And I think that's the point the World Bank president is doing, that we also need to take responsibility and ensure that we hold down that particular aspect of it. And I was just taking you into that story that's been making the rounds, and I'm guessing there's a bit of clarity as to exactly why the World Bank is saying that
you should stop borrowing.
Yeah, they are not really saying as for borrowing.
Stop borrowing there, Adosun.
Yeah, you can't stop borrowing. For a country like ours, to stop borrowing will be difficult. To stop borrowing will be very, very difficult, and I think that's a challenge. But a few more of your messages. Salifu Karim says, Nana, you do all. The sleeping president, Nana. I have been seeing some placards. I don't know if it is me. Black Rasta and a group of guys who held up some placards and did a small protest. The pictures are all over social media. I don't know, but there are a lot of people listen to Black Rasta. I don't get to do that. So I don't know exactly what it was, but it looks like the demonstration that they have been preventing. You see, that's the thing. Demonstrations can be prevented in as much as you people try to gather thousands of people onto the streets. But nobody can stop anybody from holding up a placard on the streets. You recall, Afewa, during the elections, people will stand in traffic and hold up banners, things that said, vote for Mahama. We'll give you a 50% rebate on your fees. And see, those things, there's no problem with them. When they are campaigning, they don't need help. They don't need what do they call it? Permission to do it. They won't be stopped by any court. Do you understand? So I don't know why people think that we have to always gather on the streets. If gathering is the government's problem, adopt that approach. Nobody will stop you.
Say we are traffic light.
Yeah.
Fix the country.
Fix the country. Our roads are terrible. Those are simple, straightforward things and I think Black Rasta and the guys have demonstrated that. You don't need to gather in your numbers to do that. And I commend Black Rasta for that. The last time Kevin Taylor was also doing a virtual demo. Anything can be done. This government is demo averse. They fear demonstration. When you see demonstration, you start looking for police to come and arrest you. So I think you have to be very innovative in your approach to it, and it will be very helpful. And they have to look at it. They have to look at it, because if not, it means that everybody will go and line up and apply for and be seeking notification. Write the police, I want to demonstrate here. And then once you go and write to the police will say, we cannot provide protection for you. We cannot guarantee your protection.
COVID is also
become the reason for stopping demonstrations. So I think that maybe that approach too can be very helpful. And I think Black Rasta and the guys have done fantastically in showing the way. Abdurrahman Fofisena is very nice. This tells how deep you and Afewa have traveled in a bachelor journey. The way Anwamo is being elaborated makes me hey. Let's talk a bit more about this issue of the debt and speak to Professor John Dachi, who is the Dean of the Business School at the University of Cape Coast. Thank you very much for your time, and a good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you're well, sir.
By the grace of God.
We thank God. Wonderful to hear from you. This morning we are talking about the issue of debt, and I think the last time there was a conversation about the IMF's classification of our debt. We're looking at 76% of GDP as the debt to GDP. And all of a sudden, I think it was the IMF that threw in this that says we are 78%, not 76%. They said there's no way we can leave out the ESLA, the Energy Sector Levies Act. First of all, what do you make of that move and the response you got from government?
Which move?
The way the IMF classified the debts and the essential issues about going back to the issues of proper reporting on the debt, among others.
Well, I think the classification of the debt is in line with our own laws. I indicated earlier that if you read Article 182 of the Constitution, it is very clear what goes into the public debt. And it's very clear that anything that you are going to use the public fund to pay for the interest or the principal, that debt becomes public debt. So you ask yourself, you have imposed 5% levy on profit before tax of financial institution. That is a public fund you have created. And when you use that money to pay the financial sector debt, it's a public debt you are paying. Now, all those debts went to Parliament even though some of them only went for gratification. But we can conclude that all those that were looked at under Section 56 of the Public Financial Management Act, that says that any borrowing, be it external or internal, to be approved by Parliament. So what were they approving? They were approving public debt. Now you come to the energy sector debt. Why did we establish the Energy Sector Levies Act, ESLA, to accumulate public funds to pay for debt incurred in the energy sector? So there is no ambiguity as to whether that debt will be classified as public debt or not. In fact, the Finance Ministry itself is aware. That is why they disclose it in the note. That we have another debt that we don't want to add directly on the balance sheet, but we are disclosing it in the notes, so that if you want to make a decision about our country, you need to take that also into account. So I don't see what is the challenge about the classification. It is only in line with our own laws.
But to a lot of Ghanaians who get to hear only the highlights, the issue of, for example, if you are listening to the budget, the debt to GDP ratio they mention is not the same as what is contained in the budget, and not every Ghanaian gets to read the budget. Not every Ghanaian gets to understand our real debt situation. To a lot of us, that sounds new, and it's something that perhaps should be looked at in terms of the reporting. Don't you agree?
Well, I think there is a reason why the Finance Ministry would choose to do that. Is to reduce the alarming nature of the debt to GDP ratio. But that doesn't affect your commitment in the year in terms of interest payments and the amortization. It doesn't affect it. So it's like we only do that to deceive ourselves. But the real picture is there. It is a requirement that we report transparently, full disclosure to the people of Ghana. And if a finance minister and the government decide not to do so, they are only breaching the constitution, and they are acting unfaithfully towards the people who put them in power to manage affairs on their behalf. It's as simple as that.
Subsequently, we've heard the World Bank president make some comments on our debts. Now, let me read to you what he is supposed to have said. This is a report by Joy-Online, who says, according to him, quote, holding down non-concessional debts means higher interest rate debt because that burdens further generations. I don't know if you understand exactly what he means by that.
If you can read that portion again.
It said holding down non-concessional debts means higher interest rate debt. Higher interest rate debt because that burdens further generations. I guess that's what he's trying to say.
I think what they are saying briefly is that we have concessionary and commercial loans. So concessionary loans, the interest rates are normally very small, and you have moratorium for repayment. That gives some breathing space to countries to invest the debt and plan to repay at a future date. But because we became lower middle income country, we are not supposed to benefit from concessionary loans. That is why you realize that after we being classified as lower middle income country, most of our debt sources have been bonds. Those are the non-concessionary loans. So even if you go to any financial institution for direct financial or credit, you are not going on a concessionary basis. You will be treated as coming into the market, and the interest rates are very high. So you look at that. All that the World Bank is advising is that, look, this thing today, you say you go to the market, it is oversubscribed. You have gone here, it's oversubscribed. You are only finding burden for yourself because it's commercial rate that you are going for. So try to work in such a way that you reduce access to all those expensive borrowing. That is what that the World Bank is saying.
So, essentially, is a commentary on our appetite for borrowing at this time, borrowing from the market. So the bonds we keep taking, he's saying, please watch it and do not go any further. It is dangerous.
Exactly so. The recent borrowing that we did, that is the highest for over the past 5 years or so, or 6 years. So we have now, apart from the huge amount of money we are borrowing, we have also entered into high interest level in addition to the high borrowing, and that is creating a team problem for us. And we know, you see, when you go and borrow, people don't know. Bond can be classified as semi-annual or annual, or it can be classified as quarter coupon. So assuming you go for a semi-annual bond, what that you are trying to say is that when you go for that borrowing, let's say December, it means by June you are paying the first coupon, and by December you are paying the second coupon. So we have not yet invested the money, but we start paying. That is a burden on the country. So it means that you start using part of the borrowing to start paying. These are the advice that the World Bank is giving. So all those politics and propaganda we do about going to the bond market, it is oversubscribed and the rest. People don't really understand that if it is a semi-annual bond, you are paying the coupon with the interest half year, 2 times in a year. Will you have finished constructing a road with that money? Will you have finished energy project with that money before you start paying the coupon on it? And it's a burden. It's a burden. So when people are trying that or shouting, we have gone to the market and it's oversubscribed and they eat KK on top. They don't tell you these things associated with a bond. They don't even tell you what percentage of administrative cost is associated with the issuance of the bond. So part of the money is taken, and within 6 or 1 year, you start paying when you have not even invested the money and get anything.
Very interesting, because the report further said that Mr. Malpass, who is the World Bank president, noted that there is also the need for government to be transparent with both the debt taken and the investment projects that the debts might fund. Very important, I'm guessing.
I think that is the standard practice in most progressive countries. What you are supposed to do is that when a time a bond of debt is going to be procured, that is what we call prospectus. That prospectus is attached to the borrowing or the request. So how much you want to borrow, which project. Every debt is associated with specific projects. So what should be done is that quarterly, annually, or semi-annually, we are supposed to be publishing debt performance reports in terms of the project for which a specific debt was procured, whether the project was started, the level of completion of that project. That is the transparency that the World Bank is talking about. But our our government is not ready to do that. In fact, that is the reason why we also keep on violating, I think, Article 35(7) of the Constitution that talks about we taking every practical step to continue programs and projects started by previous government. So if we are publishing that we take it, let's say $1 billion, $1 billion equivalent of loan to, let's say, construct a rail line from point A to point B. And it is indicated in that report that is published annually or semi-annually or whatever, that that project is complete about 90%. Then people will put pressure on any government to complete the 20%. But because we don't do that, there is no transparency in terms of accounting to the people of Ghana what the specific debt have been used for, whether they are deviated from what was in the prospectus or not.
And I guess that question of what the money was used for is a question that a lot of us feel is still outstanding, because you're looking at the monies involved. Aside the debt servicing, are we saying every amount is spent on debt servicing? We are looking for something tangible that we can point our hands to, among others, and how that those things can help us in paying back those debt. Is there a difficulty when it comes to the structure of this debt that makes it difficult for you to use it for some of the investments that are needed to be able to pay back those debts? I don't know if there's some difficulty concerning that.
There's no difficulty about that if we are transparent and we are utilizing the debt well. Every long-term borrowing is supposed to be a source of investment capital for the country. But because we don't do that, we don't want to engage in that report. So if we say the past 5 years, the government wants you to believe that the borrowing has been consumed by COVID-19. Meanwhile, there are specific borrowings for COVID-19. And there are specific borrowings for certain hospital projects, road projects. But those have not been done. So what was the money used for? Because they don't want those things to be known, they will not prepare that report. So we are talking about the current government. So they will think that the way COVID-19 is being reported around the world, if they say that COVID-19 has actually wiped away the benefit of debt, then everybody will be blaming COVID-19. But every debt has its purpose before Parliament approves it. So Parliament is also the problem for the country's debt management, because they have record of all the debt they have approved, all the loans they have approved. Some of them that they have approved, they have not been procured. So Parliament itself should be able to prepare a report to tell us that the loans that they have approved in the year. If we say, they will tell you that it is the Hansard, but that's not what we are talking about. Parliament itself should prepare a debt management report, and Parliament will tell you that that is the job of the Finance Ministry, but that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about you giving account to your constituencies or your constituents about the oversight role that the Constitution of Ghana mandates you to play. So tell us that at the end of the year, you have approved a total amount of this loan, and this total amount of this loan, this is the source it will come from, and this one has been activated, and this one is meant for this project. After some time, per your scrutiny, the project has started. And this is the amount of money that will be consumed after the loan procured. That is what we want from Parliament. But Parliament doesn't do that, and then it makes the executive free.
So the failure from our representatives too, but the World Bank president has also been commenting on the president's whole plea, the plea for debt forgiveness. And I would just like to maybe stick to the Joy Line story and read to you what the World Bank president is saying, as reported by Joy Line. And they said the president revealed that the bank supports the G20's debt service suspension initiative, or DSSI, which has provided fiscal space to countries to cope with the impact of the pandemic. Talk about 16 countries from West and Central Africa have requested to participate in the DSSI as of April 2021. Then he says that, however, participation by major creditors has been only partial and continues to allow large profits to be withdrawn from Africa even during the crisis with no prospects of debt cancellation. What do you make of that, and how does that essentially how would that affect the president's plea for debt forgiveness when the World Bank is saying that we are trying to get creditors onto an initiative that will involve the suspension of the servicing of debt, but these creditors are not interested. All they want is their monies.
Yeah, because they have learned this lesson from Africa. During the hectic period, they have cancelled debt. They have done a lot. But they have realized that African governments have not changed the way they utilize debt. They continue to pile out debt with the speed of Usain Bolt. And they don't have anything to show in a commensurate manner for those borrowing. So they don't want to use COVID-19 as another time to empower African governments by cancelling their debt to allow them to go to borrowing spree. Then after some 10 years later, they come back, something happened in the world, then they say cancel debt. That is how the creditors are looking at Africa. The creditors don't believe that all the debt that they are asking for cancellation or suspension happened in 2020. So they don't understand why you misuse your debt. Then in 2020, debt that you have acquired in 5 years, you want it to be cancelled or suspended in 2020. That is the challenge. So the African government have not showcased good management of their debt and the creation of assets with the debt for their country. That is the challenge that the creditor communities have when they are dealing with Africa. So you even see that all the support they want to give, they believe that if they give out about the $150 billion that the World Bank is talking about to Africa through the financial system for their private sector to access, so that these private sectors will be committed to using the funds appropriately in their business and have commitment to repay those loans instead of giving them to their government directly, where these private sectors will be treated on political line and they will not use the funds properly and pay back. That is the two approaches that the creditor community is deploying to support Africa.
But there seems to be, listening to the World Bank, they are expecting government to also help itself through its conduct and perhaps check its own attitude, the manner in which it is borrowing and what it is essentially using the debt for. That do you also agree that is the long-term way of dealing with the situation of debt?
I didn't get your question.
I was asking whether you agree that the long-term solution to this whole problem is government checking its own attitude.
I think that has been the basis of the problem. The government attitude is different. Where government will go to parliament and say, this borrowing, I need it for this project, but the project will never be done. So it is the attitude of government. So government has to be reformed in terms of what you spend our money on. You see, it is very clear. It is not for nothing that Nkrumah has been credited with many strategic projects of the country. because he has a map in front of him, guiding him what to do at the point in time. He has prioritized list as to which one to tackle first. That is what we call a development plan. When you have governments that do not believe in development plans, they believe in manifestos and promises. So when they come to government, then all their finances is gathered by the promises they give to the people. That is not how a country is governed. Some of the promises they come as you look at the crowd. Then you are under compulsion to make it part of your program. That's the problem of Africa. And we don't want to face the truth. If we don't want to face the truth, then we will travel to London, Paris, New York, and the rest, and see a functioning rail system, a functioning public transport system, but we cannot get it here.
Well, Doc, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, Professor John Gachi, yes, the Dean of the Business School of the University of Cape Coast, speaking to us on the issue of debt that is making a return strongly. This time around, the warnings are coming from the IMF, from the World Bank. They're saying, please watch the way you are going with this thing. You are creating problems for the future generation. Martinson, good morning. And you can sit where you're sitting. You don't have to move. Anyway, also, Henry George Martinson is joining me. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Senator.
I hope you're well.
No, you can't complain, you know. We're trying to pick up the pieces.
Mm-hmm. Pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
You sound like as if you just came from the World War. Must pick up the pieces this time.
You should understand my disposition since 2 years ago.
Hey.
Now I always want to philosophize.
Mm.
So that was you could say a blessing in disguise, you know.
Well, with the DJ sense, what happened to the Sino Heights? I remember Kenny Japan said the project was delayed due to COVID. Rashid Yakubu is also saying, I need only. Okay, this is a different matter. Kobla says a good morning. Please, can you get someone to explain to us the allegations made by who is? Oh, yeah, I hear Matanamido has been making some new. Okay. I was hearing the news yesterday. But I'm joined on the line by Dr. David Percy. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I hope you're well.
I'm in good shape, I believe.
Well, whenever you always say that, I'm guessing at your age, good shape is as best as you get it.
Yeah, I'm in good shape. I feel good. Nothing to complain about immediately. In terms of health. So I think that should be a good enough answer for you.
I think so. I think so. Well, thank you. Thank you for speaking to us this morning. Let me just start off our conversation with a conversation I was just having with Professor John Gachi on the issue of Ghana's debts. I'm sure you have heard about the IMF saying that, well, government quoting 76% debt to GDP ratio is not accurate, that they actually need to add the money they spend in the monies they took in the name of the energy sector to it, and that should take it to 78% to GDP ratio. This morning we are also talking about the World Bank president's call on Ghana to deal with issues with what they call non-concessional loans, the bond market that they go to take those loans, commercial loans are others, and says those are unnecessarily burdening the future generation. Doc, what do you make of all this?
In a certain sense, do we really need the World Bank to tell us what is good for us? Hold on a second. There's a domestic situation that I have to address.
So we'll go back to Doc shortly. It has to do with something. Okay. Habib Bantu says that Bismarck should not worry. Nanado is the best president. He's never corrupt. If any of his appointees corrupt, he'll be sacked. Praise singing and bootlicking is what Akufo-Addo enjoys. Yeah. Ibrahim Ahmed says a good morning to us. Patrick Kupesika says good morning. Thanks for doing a great job. Our country is definitely becoming too much of a lawless state. The world is now watching from afar. I love Enter Gata, he said. When Akufo-Addo was caught off guard by French journalists on his achievements regarding Ghana beyond aid, he was fumbling with his broken French language. Patrick Kemingetia is saying Akufo-Addo and Bawumia are incompetent, simple. Let me see if Doc is.
Are you okay now?
Yes, Doc, can we speak to you now?
Are you okay now?
Yes, I'm ready. It depends on you.
Yes, okay. My wife didn't quite know that I was on the radio with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are addressing the issue of the debt issues I raised.
Yes, I'm saying that we really need the World Bank, or for that matter, any external body to tell us that we are in crisis. Or is it because it's the World Bank? And if I may use a local parlance, a white man who is saying this. That's why it garners greater moment. We know this thing, don't we? But our government has been reckless in the extreme. And you have a situation where our Minister of Finance is first and foremost the personal treasurer of our president. I'm sure you know that. Secondly, we know that we are in a situation where his private business is aimed facilitating our borrowing, from which they get rewarded. And all of that, including the Nyansapo and the not so intelligent, are looking on. We've been looking on for the past 4 years. They managed to steal the people's mandate, and they are going to carry on for 4 more years. What do we really expect? I know that it is not my place to be asking you questions, but these questions have been posed. We're in a very bad situation. Before the World Bank died, so we knew that in the last budget, a bulk of the public revenues are going to raise are just going to go towards interest payments. I forget the quantum. Right? And then you have public sector fee. Then we're finished. Nothing left over for investment. Actually, there's a point that comes to my mind right away. I'm thinking you are in the media. Am I with you?
I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. And it is this. I think that the greatest danger we face is our media.
The media is the greatest danger we face.
Right now, but it is the greatest danger to our well-being.
We are.
Basic. I mean, let me say this properly. Large sections of the media merely operate as conveyor belts for government propaganda. They don't pose questions. They don't follow up on anything. So on the surface, everything looks okay. Otherwise, we don't need the World Bank guys to come and tell us this. We will look at ourselves. Simply by media people doing their work. Simple. Just yesterday, I was watching something on Joy News. I should not be talking about another channel on your channel. I was watching a conversation that was going on about Ghana's growth sector. And the conversation had been picked up by a recent Sunday. I think I should call them Sunday Jamboree, where the press is invited to the Ministry of Information, and one minister or other comes to tell us what they are doing to fix our country. So this is past Sunday afternoon, so the turn of the Minister of Roads, Roads and Transport, Roads. Oh, Roads and Highways, okay. I must confess that I haven't really paid too much attention to that gentleman. But he came across as almost, I would say, a deranged person. And then I was waiting to see the quality of the questions that he would ask. And some very obvious things that you thought would come up didn't come up. But then yesterday, when they were discussing this event and people's responses to that, they're interviewing people in Parliament from both sides of the House. The presenter himself presented a graph. We showed that over the past 4 years, the amount of money that we have spent on road maintenance has been going down steadily, year upon year upon year. And that appeared to take the presenter, who is a media anchor, journalist, it appeared to take him by surprise. The Ghanaian people are very badly served by a lazy and irresponsible media. That to me is our gravest problem today. And next to that is just the general issue of impunity. That we are at a stage in our life, in our governance, where wrongdoing has no consequence. On the contrary, you may be rewarded for it. I know we are talking about the economy, right? But the immediate example that comes to mind about this impunity, and I'm saying this because recently we have a campaign that has been led by our youth. This so-called Take the Country campaign. And as many things go in our country, I expect it to fizzle out very soon, because it appears to be about everything and nothing.
You
And I would insist.
you feel that campaign is about everything and nothing.
And nothing, yes.
So you don't
That
see
is how it comes across.
you don't see
And-
any form of specificity there, where they are specific about exactly what they are targeting and what they are fighting. You think that will lead to the
Well,
campaign
it
fizzling
is
out?
possible to discern something. But you know, for the mass public, people don't function at that level. Okay? And I would borrow from my experience from the independence struggle. All kinds of people were grappling with what to do with this imposition, British rule over us. Right? Before Nkrumah got invited by the United Gold Coast Convention. First of all, he transformed that sleepy gentleman's club into a mass movement. He had a very simple demand: freedom. And that lit up our whole country. The rest, they say, is history. So for the man in the street, they are looking for simple. They're looking for simple prescription. First of all, they want the problem, whatever it is, to be stated in simple, straightforward, plain language. The shorter, the better. That's why I made the point about the campaign being about everything and nothing. I mean, I can read in there issues about constitutional review, right? I can read in there issues about the incapacity of Parliament to hold the executive in check. I can read in there judicial corruption and the fact that we let God onto the bench, and they are completely unaccountable to us from there on. Okay? But to the man on the short from Adenta to Circle this morning, this would look like high hallucination. Not so. Yeah. So for something to connect, it has to be simplified. It does not lose its essence, but it conveys meaning. And that is how I see the campaign going so far. And I'll not be surprised if it fizzles out. As they say in our past, pardon my tea is not very good, but they say, so you are familiar with that.
Somehow I am at your level, maybe worse than you. So,
yeah.
Well, Doc,
but I'll say that coming away from this threat that I see from our media, such as laziness and dumb partisanship, our central problem is just a matter of impunity. That wrongdoing has no consequence. And that, on the contrary, it may lead to your elevation. So a presidential staffer is caught on video taking a bribe. Several months and years on, he's still at post. Right? You have the head of, what do you call it? A public procurement. He set up a boutique selling, contracts. He makes a small fortune. He is merely asked to go and sit at home and enjoy from the fruits of his crime. I'm sure if I say so, someone will tell me that he has not been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction yet. But whose job is it to put him before court? It cannot be the business of poor old me, a semi-retired person in Adenta. That's the job of the government. I could go on and on and on. But the most recent example that really gets to me is this matter relating to the goings on at the National Security. So you're aware of the this journalist that was he claims he was arrested and beaten up.
Yeah, Caleb from CTTV.
So, for seeking to and uncover the lie that vehicles purchased with public funds are rotting away in a quiet corner somewhere. That it ought to be a business of the Ghanaian people to know. Our rulers don't intend that we should know these things. So he's locked up. And then it turns out that the chap who was at the head of that locking up ought not to have been there. Per the clear recommendation of a commission of inquiry, the so-called Ayaso West Wagon, and then short, whatever. Right? So it turns out that he and a whole set of criminals have national security. Doing what they ought not to be there in the first place, carrying on with what they ought not to be doing. And you know what? The next day, or a few days after, National Security comes up with a statement that they have carried out an investigation and that all that the gentleman did was he did not conform with their standard for operating procedures, whatever that means, and that he is to be recalled, going to send back to the military from where he came. You might think that is bad enough. Right on the hint of that, he is promoted to head the 64th Battalion. Now, I can say on authority that every appointment in our military above the position of major is done by the president. So the president sets up a commission of inquiry. He ignores a lot of their recommendations. The recommendations that he accepts, he throws it into the dustbin quietly, as we're not looking. When we discover this, he confirms that he has completely no respect for us. Our president has complete contempt for us as the Ghanaian people. The guy is not punished in any way. He is promoted. So for those who are engaged in this fix our country thing, I tell them that they should hold on to this single thing. Dealing with the problem of impunity. And everything else shall be added onto them. That's why I was using the Nkrumah's rallying cry, freedom, as an example. That single word lit up a fire that the British could not put out in the Gold Coast. Right?
The point you're making goes back essentially to address, I think, the major question that sympathizers of government, those who defend government and their communicators have been asking. What do you want us to feel? Exactly what do you want us to fix?
So I'm saying that is a single issue. Impunity. My brother, over the past several years, there have been many issues that have come up that our commander-in-chief, our president, has cleared. Not so. Do you want me to recount them? I may not even know where to start from. Let me start from the boss. What they have a particular description for it.
For contamination.
Contaminated fuel. Right? We have the Australia visa come. Right? We have a matter that I've already read. Somebody in a task force on Galamsey, taking bribes on camera. We have 500 excavators arrested and going missing. you have the, what is it? I'm looking for the right word for it. Is this seed for cash? You can
Cash
bring up
for
the top.
seats. Yes.
What was that? What was that?
Cash for seats.
Cash for seed. Huh? Recently, I stumbled upon another one. A situation where Mark said that he has for a few CDs each were imported at grossly inflated prices. I could go on and on and on and on until the cows come home from grazing. The single thing that connects all of these. I could even bring up the recent crude display by the Electoral Commission. They have the business of holding elections. The business of election security is not their matter. And they can declare any results they wish. We should all take it. It is, my brother, it is impunity that public officers can do whatever they please and they will suffer no consequence. If at all, they get promoted. That is our issue, my brother.
So simply, if we deal with the impunity, we'll be able. Then the fixing starts from there.
We would have got our hands on the linchpin. That single connector that gives a handle on every other issue you can think of. Whether it is bad road, whether it is gallant pay, you name it.
But until then, you don't see how this whole you see a future where the whole campaign will fizzle out.
I don't think it will fizzle out. I don't think our youth can allow it to fizzle out. But the problem is this. When people act out of blind rage, the consequences are always disastrous. One way or the other, the energy, the tension, the anger that is being bottled up will explode at some point. It can be utterly destructive because it is blind, it is unfocused. Right? But it can be productively channeled if you really understand what lies at the heart of our national crisis. And I'll say two things. A lazy, in quotes, irresponsible media that spends our resources, our attention on trivia, and ignores the elephants in the room. And impunity. Simple.
Let me take you back to something you said a bit earlier. I don't know if I heard you right, but when we were describing the rules minister, did you use the word deranged?
Come again?
Did you use the word deranged to describe the rules minister?
Yes, he came across as a deranged person, yes.
Why did you use that word? Because that's pretty strong.
But that was on the basis of what I saw and heard. I'm sure that the master of ceremonies, the minister of information, was quite challenged managing the session. Here you have the minister. He assembled all his directors, chief directors, everybody, heads of agencies, everybody in the room, right? With a select group of journalists. I don't think you were there. No, you were not. And this was carried live on ETV and then I believe Joy News. I don't know what other channels, but it looks like every Sunday afternoon after church, this is what we're going to have. We had one with Finance Minister Ken. Then I believe the next Sunday, we had one with Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, right? When he came to tell us that what we have is called Doom Nayeni or Doom Pick, not Doom Saw. It has a different quality from what we saw under the incompetent Mahama, I believe. So, by the way, yeah, but then come back to this Minister of Roads and Highways. So he announces, well, basically, a lot of what he was saying, I'm also a fairy tale. Lots of it had nothing to do, no connection in the truth. Then he goes on to talk about what they are going to do in the next 4 years of our sovereign second term. That was the central point of this. Our sovereign second term. What we're going to do in the next 4 years. It's 200 bridges, something, 100 and something, interchanges.
20 interchanges. 6,000 kilometers of road, yeah.
Yeah, yes, all of that. And if you simply check on this year's budget, you find out that what he's talking about is completely not related to our reality. I didn't hear anybody in the room raise anything about that. But back to the minister, was threatening his subordinate and anybody else who stands in the way. And I said, by the way, what I've told you is what I saw. He came across as somebody who was giving. Like I said, it's not somebody I've particularly followed. So, but talking to someone, he said, I was told that he often acts that way. You know, I can remember long ago, on occasion where he gave to give an order for the demolition of some structure. I don't know whether you're familiar with that.
I recall, I think around the airport area.
Yes. Mm. Yeah. I thought it was a bit odd the way he was going about it. But like I said, I haven't really followed him. So, but what I saw was a bit unnerving. And I could see that the Minister of Information was in a hurry to close the session.
Well, Doc, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for what do I say? Lending us your time.
Well, I thought you give me a few more minutes. I like to reach out to the young guys who are involved in this thing. But being a very political person and having heard about and heard them even say some of the things that they have said, I've been very wary in reaching out to them. But maybe if you want to speak to God, can speak to the wind, right? So maybe through you, they might. So I'm sure that there might be a few young people who will listen to you. And my point really is this. I'm not particularly old, but I'm getting close to 70. It cannot be my business to be speaking the way I'm speaking now. You ought to have 15-year-old, 25-year-old, 35-year-old, 45-year-old, 65-year-old, even 65-year-old people pass, right? Who are engaged, thinking and speaking about our issues and channeling the energy that I know we have lots of in the direction of solution. Right? So that I can get be retiring. I know that my youth hasn't been wasted. But I don't see that. That's the problem for me now. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm most grateful.
Oh, Doc, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, my brother.
Dr. David Percy is a student of history and politics. He joined us to speak to us on some issues that are affecting our nation. A big thank you to him as always. It's always a pleasure talking to Doc. I don't know if Henry can hear me. Philip Adika says, okay, he's always saying, okay. Always has a message on that. And I remember there was this man who camped in front of Westminster for years, protesting with his messages written on boards around his tent. It is called Movement Against Disorder. Henry.
Yes, Senna.
Well, I guess you were listening to Doc. Key things he said, and I guess it's one of the issues that a lot of people have been worried about how this whole hashtag fix the country. Where is it taking us? And he says, let's define something, a focus, something to focus on. It will definitely fizzle out. Even though he believes the youth may not allow it to fizzle out, but they need to have a central focal message that'll keep it going.
Yeah, you see, Sarah, there has been calls on governments, successive governments over the years for the concerns of the youth to be addressed. As far as I'm concerned, the most important concern that the youth has as of today is unemployment. Especially when you're done with school. You finish with your uni or any tertiary education institution, you are done with that and you're out, and whilst in school, your parents took care of you and what have you. You are back to, and you're coming to depend on the same parents, okay, who took care of you when you were in school. It doesn't make sense, and it even makes the parent to even say certain things that under normal circumstances they wouldn't have said. So that's it. And then and there, you see, what is are we planning to build a nation, or we want the nation to build itself. That's what I think. Because in any event, we have serious and independent research institutions, especially one at Legon, one at KNST, and other private tertiary institutions. As of now, are we saying that we don't know the number of people or the youth who graduate from the various institutions every year? Don't we have a data on that? You see, we should. That's what makes the black man different from the white man. Okay, black man. I'ma try my way. I'ma fini. So you see, we in as much as I know governance is a serious business, we are making it look like a rocket science, which is not. The missing link here is about dishonesty. Because if you can appoint a lot of people because they are party faithfuls or party people at the expense of the larger good of the country, you are a dishonest person. And I keep on asking myself, listen, the one district, one factory, Sena, fantastic idea. And what should come to your mind is about electricity. But so if you're establishing electricity, our industry, you should have a serious functioning power system. Okay? You should have a serious functioning power system. Now, we're told that we have a lot of generation as far as power or electricity is concerned. One district, one factory. Not all the youth wanted to go to school. Vocation, technical skills. The factories there. You think government so much cannot construct a factory? When I hear government business is not for you to be in business. That's warped. You got to be in business to know what the business is doing. The running of a country is you are doing business. Are you not securing for loans? Are you not raising other capital? So what are you doing? Is that the same thing? When you are managing a business, you are managing assets and liabilities, and those things that are menace to society, i.e., the Galamsey and Robin, those are the what we call the menace to society. But the asset that you have, the gold, the diamond, the manganese, and other natural resource, stuff that we have, we can manage them well if we really mean well. You see, I keep on saying, listen, there are two things, if any serious government can tackle, this country will reach a huru. One, if we're able to tackle corruption in the mindset of the Ghanaian, we are done. These two things, that's all that we need. Tuto! You remember during the 2020 elections, the NDC was at it was second. So, when you go for campaign, say, Tuto! So, that at the same vein, these are the two most important things that we need to address as a nation. And we are good to go. Corruption and the mindset of the Ghanaian. You can tackle corruption head on and be able to tune the mindset of Ghanaian. We are good. What's the number? So it's as a result of what our behavioral tendencies. Okay, we don't behave like human beings, Ghanaians, the average person. And we keep on citing examples of other jurisdictions. And when you go to Malaysia, when you go to Singapore, you don't even spit. You don't even throw your gum or your chewing gum away. We rattle it like a rhyme. Okay, but we don't place it here. That's what I call listen. Our leaders travel outside, sleep in the best hotels and what have you, eat the best dishes. Now when they come here, the beautiful things that they saw outside, they can't implement here. And these are the same white men our people started school with. Those who went to Yale, those who went to Oxford, those who went to Stanford, those who went to Harvard, those who went to Georgetown, you name them. you start with the same white people. But why is it that when we come to our own, we can't develop? You see, it makes me miss Dr. Nkrumah as if I was around when he was around. So that's what I'm saying. It makes me miss Dr. Nkrumah as if I was around when he was around. Because reading a plethora of his books, that should tell you that, you can only make it when you have a serious leader. As the saying goes, leadership is everything, the rest is effects. In this time that we find ourselves, we need a strong leader. A leader with a vision. A leader who is not business conscious. A leader who can spank his own. A leader who can even jail his wife. That's the kind of leaders we need in Africa for the continent to succeed. But in any event, as Nkrumah said, Africa is not poor, but Africans are poor. That should tell you. Whatever makes a nation great or a nation worthy, we do have them in abundance. But so what is missing in the equation? It's about the slavery mentality that we have. It's about the mindset that we have. That's where we find ourselves. So for Ghanaians, as religious as we are, we will not go the Arab Spring or what has happened in other Arabian countries and what have you. We'll be speaking, we'll be talking. That's it, we'll be talking. But I'm saying, listen, if you said you really wanted to develop country, you see, we are sick and tired of the average politician. But most of these politicians are not truth-speaking individuals. They are only self-conceited with their parties. That's the only thing that our politicians know how to do in this country. So when the youth arise and say, oh, fix the country, tell me which part of this country does not need to be fixed. Tell me, you name. Is it the banking sector? The transport sector? The banking sector has been fixed.
Hello? Has been fixed.
Hello?
But
hello?
The billions we spent has not fixed the banking sector. The real sector that we started working on very strongly. President Akufo-Addo started struggling very strongly since 2017.
You are late.
You are late.
Yes.
You are way behind. The power sector.
Yeah.
You are doing CSA.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's a good sound bite, Charlie.
Yeah.
I wish you were traditional radio. That's a good sound bite. Who told you things have been fixed?
You are coming to ask the question. Roads Minister, Power Minister, the Finance Minister, the Greek Minister. Plantain is 5 Ghana cedis, a bunch. So should I continue? Nana Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia, we all have addresses. We are supposed to have bank accounts. What don't we have in this country?
So in every part of this country, especially our hinterlands and the villages,
things are well.
We have a lot of there are adequate toilets and water there.
Yes,
I said within 2 years.
But what did Dr. Bawumia say?
Listen, I'm not talking about I'm asking that what is on the ground. You see the problem with the black man? What is on the ground as to speak? It's not about addiction. That's what I'm talking about. What is on the ground? Right now, if I pass through, I go to Bebe, just here, Accra. What will I see there? And you are telling me someone is rattling.
But what am I supposed to?
Yeah, that's how I'm asking. What is on the ground?
You want to talk about what is on the ground?
Go on, Amifife. What is on the ground? Tell me.
But you are more on the ground.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, I'm a Fred Marshall. I'm telling you, I work 24/7, and you know it. And you know I live in Chocolate Estate. Charlie, what are you talking about? Go and tell me what is on the ground there.
So now tell us what is on the ground.
I'm asking, listen, it's only in this country that economics does not work. When we were told that inflation and the NDC was hovering around 16%, what was the price of cement? Now tell me, what is the inflationary rate? And tell me the prices of goods and services in this country? Is economic working in this country? Are we not using the same methodologies and the same measuring tools that they use? Talking about measuring inflation, measuring depreciation. Are we not using the same thing? Is it not the same economics that we learned in school? So tell me, what is working in this country? What is inflation? Let's plug it at 10% inflation, 10%. And this time inflation 16%. What's the price of the tin of milk? And you tell me inflation is working. The country is working. Tell me. I'm only simple. I'm asking. That's what my people prefer. It's about your pocket. If you put right now as you sit behind the console, if you put your hand in your pocket, what do? The better you can get is coins.
You can't talk like that. You're not in my pocket.
I don't need to be there.
You're not in my pocket.
I don't need to be in your pocket. Yeah. I told you I studied a lot of neurophysiology. So when I speak with authority. I said, right now, put your hand in your pocket and let's fix the cameras on you. I dare you.
But why are you there?
I'm telling you, when you go to the grounds, are things working? That's a simple question that we need to ask ourselves. And you answer. Because if you're able to define the question, you can answer it. When you go to the ground, are things working?
When you go to the grounds,
are things working? That's simple. We don't need this political, economic jargons. So I sit there when you're not to have a power. Not doing we. Because it's not time for election. It is show a system not doing we. So see that's it. If people are trying to fix the country, this is it. A lot of socio-political, a lot of socio-political turbulence happened during the previous administration. Is it not in relation to fixing the economy? If the end broke, you ain't fix it. You see, we should be bold and play back people's statements that is said in the past. Yeah. That's why I built a nation. We are all taking ourselves laughing, and we are lagging behind. But the road minister said what? Well, what is it? What is it? Is that what? We should hurry up and what?
He said you should. Oh, you should run, catch up.
We should run and catch up.
Yeah.
Those people that we started with, where are they?
Who?
If the nation cannot run, a whole nation cannot run and catch up its contemporary, so to speak. What about we the citizens in it? People are telling you that, listen, come and see their villages. Come and see the kind of living that they are in. If you think people are lying, you see the difficulty that erupted the NDC about the Green Book. Because initially, the communication on the Green Book wasn't thought through until Felix started taking the Green Book to the people and showing them. But the narrative was that these are what? Photoshops, innit? So if someone is there, as Bobale said, he who feels it knows it. They are living with the danger, day in and day out. And they are telling them, listen, their roads are not fixed. They don't have water here. Even here, Taifa, even Greater Accra, we are having problems getting water and matter, and what have you. And when people are talking about it, everyone is saying Tema is a residential area. It's one of the plush places in Accra. People are fetching water from the gutter, and you are telling me that what? We should fix our minds.
And our attitude.
And our attitude.
Yeah.
I told the leadership. Leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. That's the point. So, I mean, the body language of the leader, okay? The body language of the leader brings people along. That's what people are saying. It will be foolhardy on my part to still, or it will be foolhardy on anybody's part to still be blaming the previous administration. But you are in your feet here. That's how you see. People should be speaking boldly in their faces. For them to know that we are not children. That's how we do. For them to know that we are not children. Listen, I might be getting something from maybe a big guy in MPP, or you might be getting something from the presidency. But the question is that you alone, what about your family? Is that all there is to humanity? That when I'm okay, I don't even care about my daughter and my son, or my wife, or their dependent. Listen, it's good. I mean, if we really want, we can get there, because we have whatever it takes to get there. That pinnacle of the world, we can get there. But I'm saying the problem here is that it's about what you said. It's about the attitude, and who. Actually, there are two things that can propel the growth pulse of this country. If we're able to tackle corruption head on in our attitudes, and that's it. And you need a leader for you to be told in line. That's all that we need. We need this. It's a way because of our intransigence in our filth. Okay, the intransigence in our filth. FILTH. The intransigence in our filth. We only need a leader with strong conviction about where he needs this country to go. Because if you're coming to power as a leader, you know, Patrick Kakra, 8 years. So within the 8 years, you can't do everything. Because you are not Superman or Hercules. Okay? So within the 8 years, you should have a serious blueprint. As we're speaking, we're talking now. What is the policy or the blueprint on the implementation of free SHS? Because as far as I'm concerned, the policy has come to stay. And the next government needs to have the policy document. Yeah. So why are you keeping the policy document to your chest? Is that a bona fide? Are you not doing this thing in trust of the people? So I'm saying that, listen, there is more to it than it meets the eye, Senna. What we are dealing with as a nation, we shouldn't be happy when we sit in Accra and we see these high-rising buildings. I'm not even surprised when Nima said that Nima will have skyscrapers. Because we just sit in Accra and think when the private sector, some private person or individual is building very nice, like we see around Latebe Okoshin, the airport, the Laboni, the cantonment, the East Legon, and what have you. That's not it. It's about the totality of the nation. What would be on? Listen, we're talking about rural. It's about fixing the country. We're talking about rural urban migration. Since time immemorial, even when I wasn't born, we started talking about rural urban migration.
You are still talking about.
And we're still talking about. And are we to know, or am I to know, Vasena, that there is no research institution in this country that has been able to identify the causes or the factors leading to rural urban migration? Are we being told that? So ISE, IEA, you name them, they've not done any paper on the causes of rural urban migration, how we can hem them in. Are we? I mean, what kind of people are we?
Martin,
when I was in, do you know Domwood, around that Bugrushi there? By then it was at the peak of people coming from the north to work in the south. Do you know what they do? There's a place called Sikens. You know Sikens? At that Bugrushi there.
Yeah.
When they're done with their work, I'm talking about the headquarters. That's what we call the Kayaye. When they're done with their work for the day, they dress nicely. They go and stand in front of Sikens and they take pictures and they send it up north.
They are doing well.
Yeah.
Well, Martin said.
So that's it.
Martin
So I'm saying that all those people in and outside Ghana, in and outside the north, okay, who come from the north, who hail from the end, and they are successful businessmen and businesswomen in up south here. We don't have fellow feelings for our kids and kin. Is that what we're being told? That we can't develop anything significant up north, okay, that could stem the tide? Martin, what are we talking about?
Let me do the voice note. Let me start with your good friend Togowan.
Hello. Good afternoon. Hey, Sister Nancy, to say, you be able to go on a casano, little catcher. The church will be a hey, I didn't eat my body in the bread. Hey, hey, oh, and somehow, sister nursing some ha papa me church obia I say na ene na me say me we de me hwe mo kakra me say mo fire sa mo fire na so en ko bia o ekufado ni we omo de claro ato mo asem no ntino omo ntehwe wasa mo de brana mo bre o tano bi se o de o yo be ma bragana na hwe masa aputo me bragana me hwe Ghana e ho no mo wo ye ho yenim kuro no masa me de bia me kan me Paul me wo ho e dodo na fam Togo wan yi me ti gai me se metra me krom pa ko nkwanso mu de masa me be tro bi kronso na ma konkwanso mu adi chi we se no me didi sa adua no kra me hu de mindi ma kwa djuma se se ma kwa djuma ba me ka half time o ara fo so mo ne omo so mo de bomb no mo de mo paint no omo to no mo na abrofo no kwasibo na ya adwenti no bomb no mo to a ye wa de esovo no ewiem no a blast no ewiem ono fo na say nipa adwen yeduma enye Yesu na ba ye yo kura ye wo kroma ye ti o hai aha na Yesu fi na so krom omo se Yesu bi amaha na so odi woni kwa kohuni ama wo babu ni na o na so mo se Yesu bi amaha aha me si Muslim for ewo more upper hand da Christian ewo Israel as we so Muslim ewo more upper hand da Christian ewo asase we so ye ka no bi buefu masa ye ya betre o me ma betra me aha me po abegwe me Jerusalem asase so na mete from baby me wo eko western wall me say endu 10 minutes me 19 MC 2010 or 2011 me say me wana akofo beka say omo se papa bi on ye krumu or person president ono aba western wall omo de keeper mano esa bo send the I send this year also omo de keeper mano keeper na eche bia wo ye hwan okodu western wall wa eso mo sa che na wo de che one che sa che na nya de obekọ ho western wall aye jufo amamre western wall.
Togo one, unfortunately, we have to leave it here. Say to share with Sestana, good morning to you about the borrowing issue that Ghanaians do not want to voice out. In 20 to 30 years to come, Ghana won't have anything to call its own if it does not stop the borrowing, if the borrowing does not stop. The creditors are very smart. They keep borrowing you money so long as they know you have something they can take from you in case you cannot pay your debts. So we have to be extra careful the way we go and borrow. Stay safe. That's coming from Seidu Shaibu. Let me move on to so that's still go one. Let me move on to Habib.
Good morning, Mr. Sena. My name is Habib. I'm speaking from Italy this morning. And let me greet you and greet every Ghanaian who is listening. Someone was say Yewo Krumuha. Yenyina, including the NDC, has been shouting, say, His Excellency Akufo-Addo, any baumia, say na mudi busia adani mo trademark, say mo de bia mo bekubia mo bekwa ko bobusiano. O kwa ko bobusiano kra ye mamu because mama busiane mini say na including we the people of Ghana with all our natural resources when it is being sold to pay our debt. It is only 25% which will be left for us. Isn't this a shame, President Akufo-Addo? Wow, would it Taiwan, any Singapore, any himfa, Wakatre and said those economy na opese with the Ghana ecosystem. Any we have a president who used 17,000 euros for airplane an hour. Ebesi ne papa we yes adian ye nya Ghana ni bia nka ho asem. Ye nya Ghana ni bia nka ho asem. Uko jina France uko bebia na uko akopacho la la suli la yemfa o kanchew. What is all this, His Excellency? And you win all the war for over 40 years. You've been fighting for democracy, human rights in ye Akufo-Addo and any and ne wa banso ye kwakoto abakeke nkrofo ete obi anka ho asem. Apart from enu, atrocities eko wa build the paramilitia. And omo would use so omo terrorizing Crawford. Now say now I want to ask. So this planting for food and jobs, as Paul Adumotri has been saying, COVID economics, and mean cocoa as a country, as the state, like the way in Kruma and a Champon, them they do states farm and in Niema operation feed yourself. Yanka say mean cocoa, fa big land and cocoa farm, so that money would also be generated apart from what our cocoa farmers have been giving to us. Voter region in Niema galamse waho. Can't we invest into those areas so that the country will get some money? Can't our people think small that borrowing will not give us anything? Marco Bobusia be brave. Munche adia mudia muse no. Yes, fix the country muse no. And the doom so. Anye doom so insecurity. Anye insecurity hardship. And then cry dokunu yetonu more than 2 cedi. Aden Akufo-Addo. Aden. This was not what you told us. Usi yenso wunhwe na so mhwe die. Wa betra yesu bang papa den. Yen microphone e bre. He sitremu kakrama Ghana for. The people of Ghana are suffering. The suffering is over. Please think. Stop the enjoyment. Cut down costs. Save the people. The taxes on them are too much. Remove and reduce petroleum taxes. We are suffering, His Excellency Akufo-Addo. Sena Numu, have a very good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother Habib. Haji Akumapa.
Hello, Fusina. I'm coming home with my phone now. Now come sponsors and so on. Now continuous or sponsor. Tim Bia will be PM. I'm fan sponsor and radio good sponsors. I remember I'm what on them can Epo where your school system was Ghana no Ghana for me mobile Ghana minim say you hear ninti I am paying for my on here do crew and sign into you pay bibia free and na yet and then some sister catch me what's wrong with no cleaning a me the bad girl AVHSS Echo SS Unimpa say and then it's in another way because of Mumbai to your school fees. Uncle Chinchan so Kakrama Colano, a piece Kagu. Only say free tea and other Colano call Laboni. Nina, and I said from committee ya, PTA. They say day for on bet 4.8. Them. I told my sister Nadrin. Nina. Go forward by some best say education. Na young here for me and colano. Omo school, papa, into our future no. And your papa bia. No more mano akọ egoche school akese into no wia no mabaha. Enti bibia me no ba bedi kan. Omo de obedi enim. No, omo control oman bibia. Until say Ghana youth be sorry. Even the students, I be sorry. I catch her by and say, "O free me and pet." Your parents are to meet your school fees. I'm on my question. You might be with you. Then quiet. Allah, on the same school no. I'm on Colano. Finally, IMF and World Bank. And you know, more some boss have by way Baswan or the Gisqua. Sebe uta flache. A year ni can. A demand for Ghana. Because I see public toilet. I book a public toilet. My beauty protocol. To my minister, yes, I'm on Bonnie Nampo.
Haja. Thank you. Uncle Dangerfield.
Good morning, Radio Gold. Michael Radio Gold at Sefuna. Mkasafi, Germany. You're from Uncle Dangerfield. Ghana for. Young Kofibia, Sabi Yusrazi. Na, Mampeda make come what's saying there. Paying for the IABO, the youth, one of this is your wasser. If you have fixed the country in Po. Minister of Roads, Ninsamore Kaka. As no some being a minister, fix it. Ninsamore Kaka, in your chair, and beautiful Musuban. Fair, the Navi Danko Akufo-Addo, Unyamaka. Although Bombanan will cure that disease, because of the international conference was so done. Baby wom. One was no one kill and sana for fixed country. Olugunyi mas papa. Echo conference all the way when one eats in some more kodo. No so di to for no so contributing echo na akada. What do you know as the general when you gen? Our ancestors are working. And you MPP people, you will see. Sure, AU or you ain't done that. Obiala into my young shame. Now, so the way Nkrumah fighting for Africa unity, because you're one more from winning. Your phone, papa. Okay, this is the time. Okay, who you are? Obo Ghana for years. You people, that's what the young Nkrumah miss your organized Africa unity. You see what the young Busianum, Dan Konom, Obitibilam Tenum, Akufado Papanum, what the young. I will be about destroy the good name of Kwame Nkrumah. As our the Pan-Africanism, what whatever I will inima, will be yanyin, and not the Danko Pado. Among Kumin Chankwa, in train good that. Master Pemikacho and Uncle Danger for Germany.
Thank you very much, Uncle Dangerfield. Okay, I think the last one is from Grandma Abena.
Ebusia for Michiamu, Grandma Abena in Germany. Martinson. Share near who critical thinking about Kwame Nkrumah. No. Kwame Nkrumah had a good heart for Ghana. He did not come to use Ghanaians to make money. One basi obe use Ghana for Edia Pesca to say Vita Fracha Akufo-Addo papa no say Bushia no say Bushia crowd so nishi but Akufo-Addo papa de onya a lot o ria bebre. Etino ye peli desa omu dogana omu wokumapa ema maimba eye Kwame Nkrumah because Kwame Nkrumah ni Japade bia yeah edan bi na si eburi wona yesi ma no no sa lodge no pejuashi lodge se den no Makola women ene si sa dan ne ma no enso odi magana ni patitru ba omu betna Kwambe wia Ghana obaye so breedi Ghana any Africa se won eti no wo hwa Akufo-Addo ni na apamfo ade a ni ministers ni san kola sa me wo kun kola we num o madani billionaires o ma wia yen o ma free sika e na o mo de wia yen o ma say Ghana din with the whole world but they will pay for it because crime is a crime even 1 billion years. We are just praying for them to live. Even omu who cry, betu omu phone, we are judging them. Because Ghana forces say, ye nye bio, ye njimi bio. Sa neo colonialism no mdi yako ma brofuno, omu tonton ye nye mama brofuno, ye mpini. Obiti se Mahama, obaye with a kuma, ema Ghana, odo Ghana. Eti neni mbri Ghana shwe. Shen Japadian kwa ujama Akufo-Addo ni na apamfo MPP fo akonfo we num omo wia ni nyina omo wie Japadie we nyina e dia ye omo de omo atonto amomo fofofo okufo be ye the same thing omo and omo say Ghana okufo obeji akonwa ni pe e no stop Kwame Jerry John Lawrence progressing na nka oyama Ghana no e no stop bibia no omo start say omo fi factories bebre manchis ni nyina na ye o Ghana ye ka oma say bibia tin tomatoes corn beef ni nyina na ye o Ghana oma tonto factories ni nyina costors no oma tonto amomo eti no MPP for ma ha Ghana pa eti no mo amonhwe kro no omo boyen
No, but thank you very much. Okay, I think Gabriel Kwashi has sent a voice note. With the registers, for a nation to toss itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket of water and trying to lift himself up by the handle. Gabriel.
My name is Gabriel Kwashi Gatri, aka Babyface. In fact, I find it very difficult to listen to you through the tuning. But then I was also busy, so I could not listen to you that much. But the latter part, in fact, I just want to contribute small. See, Kennedy Agyapong can show Ahmed Swale's pictures and even his location and what he does. claiming he is a bad boy, that he should be killed, he should be beaten, and whatever will come out, he will pay for it. But you are claiming that somebody has killed that person, and you have been briefed, or they let you know the person who involved in the killing of that person. But till date, you don't have that moral right again to place the person's picture, the culprit or the killer of that person picture on social media, or even on your Net2 TV that you use to propagate your demonic attacks on people. You can't use it. You can't use it. For years, you yourself, according to your statement, for years now, for more than 1 year now, you can't even use your Net2 to post his pictures there that this person is being wanted by the police. Then you want to convince me to believe that you don't have hands in the killing of Ahmed Swale? We are not kids in this country. Mo boni bia ebeba Ghana bia ebesumamu. Ukini dia Japan boni bia ebeba oman mu bia esumamu. Wo chama won tumi mu abro nyenu, abo apapo nu boni esumamu asana abagana uti hoze u pese u convince oya convince you between convince. So already you said every MPP member is a fool. That one here you can convince them. Me amin kosko ba minim nyasa chemo amose wa kosko. Masa.
Thank you very much, Gabriel Kwashi. A few of your messages that you sent in. Kwame Enes is saying a good morning. For Nanado spent, was it 119,715 Ghana's? Okay, that's a lot of money per hour to travel from Kotoka to Paris. The flight took 6 hours to reach Paris. If you spend 3 days before returning home, calculate the amount spent on the flight per journey. The total amount he spent on his trip for Ghanaians to know. Udeduje said the churches are part of our problems in Ghana. Look around to you today, and you'll notice that the easiest way to make money in the country today is to form a church or sakawa. Bibi Kamo is saying #bring back Radio Go 90.5. Udeduje, African leaders should know by now that we have to be discussing and finding our own solutions to our problems. The African way, we understand ourselves than how the Westerners do. Leaders find it difficult explaining themselves in the foreign language. Buzi Beto, Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo, and Dr. Bawumia are total time wasters. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jinana Opoku-Agyeman for 2024. That's Buzi Beto. Abdulaziz Zinzum says, Master, fix the country and stop wasting the money for unnecessary things. Abi Bantus, always delighted listening to Dr. David Percy. Patrick Sika says, the range is too soft a word to describe a road minister. Baba Saliso, continue the conversation with your discerning listeners. Really go the best. Osman Lachi says a good morning to us. Abdul Kadir Adams also join us. Isaac of Adelis says, okay, thank you. Buzi Beto saying more fire, more gombe for Martinson. Jinsa Abdul Martin is also joining us. So when you listen to him one-on-one, you have no option than to love him. His words are full of sense of unity. He has admonished his sympathizer not to insult or denigrate opponents in the attempt to promote him. He is a unifier, a fighter, a result-oriented leader. Let's support Honorable Sidi Abubakar for the sake of the love for our country. JDM for flag bearer, CD for national organizer. That's coming from Jinsa Abdul Martin, who is campaigning. Nana French, he says, our systems are so broken that I can't even send a mobile phone by posting it through DHL FedEx from Iceland to Ghana, because items get lost as soon as they arrive in Ghana airport. So our leaders will not stop blaming the citizens and fix themselves and allow institutions to work. Then I am sorry, there's no hope for us. Greetings from the country of Iceland, from the country of ice and fire. Patrick Kubwesiga said, I think the more we criticize this government, the more they delve deep into criminal activities and corruption scandal to despise we, the electors. They know we don't have the power to do anything. That's why we should use a different approach. Hail them. Nana is the greatest man ever. Okay, so let me say once again a happy birthday to Prophet Habib Suleimana, who is the husband of Yagre Stampori. A happy birthday to you. I'd like to say a happy birthday to Dachi Hini. What's the other name? Dachi Hini at Power FM. A happy birthday to you. His birthday is today. A happy birthday to him. And also say a big thank you to you guys for sticking and staying with us. Yesterday wasn't the smoothest of days, but you joined us this morning and you listened, watched us throughout, specifically when we couldn't have the tuning streaming, but you were still with us throughout. And I'm grateful to you every day for offering us, welcoming us into wherever you are.
Maybe one of these, we're talking about the back and forth between the NMC, the National Security Ministry, and the National Security Ministry.
Over what?
Over the alleged assault issue.
Well, very interesting. Anyway, we've also heard subsequently that this morning the Fix the Country guys who tried to demonstrate on May 9th are facing a new suit, so they are in court. They've gone back to the High Court. I don't know what over. We'll try and get some clarification perhaps tomorrow from the people we have been speaking to. Very interesting, because the demonstration was supposed to come on May 9th. They didn't come on. I don't know why they're still being dragged through courts. Thomas Doche said upon all we have the men, now everything basa abba special our education system, especially our education system. Asemo. A big thank you to Gordon, who was in charge of our social media. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube is Radio Good Live TV. We have videos there you can go and watch from some of our shows. If you miss some of them, there are lots of videos you can watch there from a lot of our shows. And we're also live on Facebook. Radio Good 905 FM is the platform. A big thank you to Gordon, who does that work. And Eric Boateng is my producer. Henry George Martinson heard this morning. My co-host today was Afiwa Sibibreko, SM Movement, the one and only. My name, Evangelist, no, he's an evangelist who says, Nana Akufo-Addo has sporting waves. My name is Sana Nowo. I think it's a bigger around very early this morning. I don't know whether they switch off his light or he hasn't paid electricity bills or whatever it is. So he's here very early in the morning. So Pampas will come on from 1 p.m. And so do make a date with someone who taught the rest of the crew, Patrick Aswad, Wade, among others, working to bring you some very wonderful programming. So do make a date with them. We are back same time tomorrow with another edition of the show. In the meantime, I salute my brothers, Jet Morgan and Nee Brown. I salute them. Nee Brown is very concerned about the road. Is very concerned about the road, the Chebi Road. I hear there's a fantastic video that Mr. Nicholas Laguda sent to me. Let me also salute, good morning to Emmanuel Dusu. Once again, wonderful to see Wood. Thomas, I think I saw Nana French also joining us this morning. Always wonderful to hear from you. Buzi Beto, wonderful to hear from you. Lengi Chawinate, among the rest of you who constantly converse with me. I see Mr. Patrick Kugwesika, Mr. George Lawson, Atabuache. Good morning to Auntie Maggie. A very good morning to Estella Graciela and to Reverend Kwashi. A good morning to you and enjoy the rest of the day. Mama B, a good morning to you. Ma B, a good morning to you. And a good morning to Madam Ijina Isaki. I can keep going on.
And go into Antivero.
Yes.
Why?